Chairman of the board for you with Beach Fever on the Saturday morning sea cruise. Captain Ron setting in. Man, we are almost back at the dock, so we've got about 2 more songs we can get on before we get back and have to disembark. That's a big word, like mayonnaise. So let's get one more on for you before our last break. And last 2 songs, to me, the quintessential songs representing beach music. This is Myrtle Beach Days.
I was dreaming last night when I got the notion to pack my bags and head out for the ocean. And I was thinking today, those good times last year, looking at the latest and drinking cold draft beer. Myrtle Beach days, we'll have some fun in the waves. I don't care what the West Coast says, 'cause I love those Myrtle Beach days. Well, come on down this summer, it's gonna be a good year for riding on the coaster or fishing off of the pier. And I was thinking today, when I got the notion to pack my cooler and some suntan lotion. Myrtle Beach days, we'll have some fun in the waves. I don't care what the West Coast says, 'cause I love those Myrtle Beach days. Myrtle Beach days, we'll have some fun in the waves. I don't care what the West Coast says, 'cause I love those Myrtle Beach.
Fantastic Shakers for you with Myrtle Beach Days. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take our last break here.
Watching all the ladies drinking some of that cold draft beer.
And we'll be back with probably the song that everybody associates beach music with, from the Embers. So let's take our last break. We'll be right back.
Gain your independence from high car payments with a visit to Renato Cadillac Buick GMC in Shelby. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join the boss this Saturday, July 8th, as we broadcast live from Renato Cadillac Buick GMC in Shelby. We'll be there from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We'll have free hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. And register to win some great prizes, too. And while you're there, check out the great deals, like 0% APR financing for 72 months for qualified buyers on the 2017 Buick Envision Preferred and the 2017 Buick Enclave, plus a $1,250 purchase allowance. Come in for all the details. And that's not all. The 2017 Buick LaCrosse Essence is now 17% off. And the Slasher has been added again, slashing down the prices on pre-owned vehicles. So come join us this Saturday, July 8th, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Renato Cadillac Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. You know, facts just don't lie. And here are the facts about Fastway Oil Change in Shelby. Fact number 1, Fastway Oil Change has been in business for over 28 years. Fact number 2, the employees at Fastway Oil Change have over 98 years of combined experience. And fact number 3, in those 28 years, over 500,000 customers have been served. Those are the facts. Find out why people keep coming back to Fastway Oil Change. Fastway Oil Change, 630 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Let Fastway Oil Change do the dirty work for you.
Considering hardwood flooring for your home? Then head to Flooring America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Ranelagh. Right now at both locations, you'll find a big selection of in-stock hardwoods on sale, priced as low as $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot. At Flooring America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, and Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow.
They outshine the rest, so buy from the best. That's Pegram Insurance for auto, home, motorcycle, and mobile home insurance. They'll shop for your lowest rates with low down payments, low monthly payments, and they insure any driver, any age, any vehicle. Visit your nearest location for a free quote today. Pegram Insurance, 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, where you get lower rates and better service. Remember the name, Pegram Insurance. The RVer's most trusted resource for over 50 years. That's Campers Inn. Family owned and operated since 1966. And this area's dealer is Campers Inn in Kings Mountain. Campers Inn is the nation's largest family-operated RV dealership, 16 locations up and down the East Coast. From motorhomes to travel trailers and more, from the industry's leading manufacturers, plus award-winning RV sales and service. See hundreds of RVs for the best prices, plus they have certified and trained service personnel and a professional staff with years of RV knowledge. Campers Inn, Highway 161 South of 95 in Kings Mountain. Tell them Calvin sent you in to the Campers Inn.
Hey, this is Richard and the crew at the Clothes Center. You need to come and see all the great stuff we got for men and women, from bathing suits to shag shirts to you name it, we got it for men and women. You can go to www.clothes-center.com and see my wonderful shoes online, or just call us on the phone, 843-280-4477. Come on now.
All right, thank you, Richard. And, man, Richard's got some new colors in on his Telic sandals like I have on right now. He's got hot pink, so if you're in there, go check out Richard and check out his shoes. Tell him that I sent you in to see him. All right, one more song, and it, to me, is the song that everyone associates with beach music, and this is by the Embers. And, hey, by the way, this is about do it for me for this week. I won't be here next week, but I'll be back in 2 weeks, so this is, I'm leaving for vacation at 10 o'clock. So anyway, y'all have a safe weekend, safe week next week, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
were only telling me a lie. Oh, darling. Oh, darling. Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry. The tears fall from my eyes like the falling rain. I know that I caused you so much pain. Oh, darling. Oh, darling. Don't make me cry. Now don't make me cry. You said that our love, it was over. And that was not meant to be. But now you are here in Clover. You're begging to come back to me. Oh. You said that our love, it was over.
People are talking about when they listen.
I listen at work.
Mostly at work.
5 days a week.
The Boss, your beach oldies and sports stations, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and W268CU Shelby. NASCAR's America's Tailgate Party, Friday mornings at 10 a.m. from the Motor Racing Network and right here at Big O Country, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Gain your independence from high car payments with a visit to Renato Cadillac Buick GMC in Shelby. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join the Boss this Saturday, July 8th, as we broadcast live from Renato Cadillac Buick GMC in Shelby. We'll be there from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We'll have free hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. And register to win some great prizes, too. And while you're there, check out the great deals, like 0% APR financing for 72 months for qualified buyers on the 2017 Buick Preferred and the 2017 Buick Enclave, plus a $1,250 purchase allowance. Come in for all the details. And that's not all. The 2017 Buick LaCrosse Essence is now 17% off. And the Slasher has been added again, slashing down the prices on pre-owned vehicles. So come join us this Saturday, July 8th, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Renato Cadillac Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall.
It's time to take advantage of the all-inclusive membership at Westport Golf Club. Join now and you save $250 on initiation. The Westport Club membership includes access to their 18-hole championship golf course, 8 lighted clay tennis courts, a junior Olympic-sized pool with 26-foot dual tube slide and fountain area, plus a fitness center, weight room, and cardio equipment, plus personal trainers, yoga, Pilates, and Zumba classes are offered. For more details, call the Westport Golf Club at 704-489-8088.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Marge. Hey, what's that?
Oh, that's our new Coyote tractor. John picked it up today. Isn't it beautiful?
Well, yes, but
it's going to help us get all those jobs done around here.
That's great, but...
And with Coyote, we get the industry's best warranty.
Okay, looks great, works hard, the best warranty, but why?
Why is a Coyote tractor in our living room, and why is John snuggled up next to it? He's in love.
Coyote, love your tractor.
Your Coyote dealer is West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail. It's buy one, get one free at Moss Drug in Gastonia. Come in now and buy Health Mart 100 count extra strength pain reliever fever reducer for only $7.49 and get one free. Save big on Bayer aspirin, 120 count bottle for $6.49, and Aleve 50 caplets for $6.49. Moss Drug has Flonase allergy relief for $13.99 and bottles of Pepto-Bismol for $3.49. Moss Drug, 701 West Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Remember, they bill your Medicare and do immunizations too. Your locally owned Health Mart Pharmacy.
Biscuits, good morning. What's up, Shopper Sports Talk, Mitchem's Kitchen, 704-276-1155. Give them a call today. It's Biscuits time in the morning. Captain Ron is on his way to Vegas. We gave him a $5 bill, so put it all on black and don't come back, right, Terry?
That's it.
And now we wished him good luck, and we told him we never want to see him again. But we want to take it the good way, not the wrong way, right? You can take that to a couple different ways.
We said just as long as you win a bunch of money and call us back and say, whoop, you know what, I quit next week.
Hopefully, I mean, he wins
but
enough.
He'll do one more show. I know he would.
He wins enough. We can all quit, Terry. Even Smoke can quit. We'll buy Smoke a new shirt, get that stupid Boston shirt off of him. But welcome back to the show, Smoke Kevin Ludwig, Terry Reinhardt. I'm Kevin Hastings. Good Saturday morning, everybody.
I keep forgetting Smoke. Poppy's gone. He's gone, man. He's retired.
I know.
He's done. He's left.
Yep.
I mean, you
you
know.
don't see Terry rocking George Brett shirts.
Yeah.
Or Bo Jackson shirts.
He wishes he could.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Hey, but we're still first in the division, so it's all right.
That's right. You know, we're.
So really, you did not need Poppy.
Oh, I wish we had.
See?
No, I wish we had his power right now because we don't really have much power hitting. But
that's exactly what y'all don't have right now. Is
we can't hit home runs.
Y'all don't have Poppy's power. I mean, when the roids start coming in the dugout, Smoke, y'all start hitting home runs in Boston, huh? But everybody else in the league's hitting home runs. They're on pace this year to hit more home runs in the history of baseball. That's including all the steroids eras, the Bonds, the McGuire years, the Sosa years, the Bicep years. And now everybody's just balls are flying out left and right. We talked a little bit last week, a little bit about that. Scientific. We got scientific here. Believe it or not, we read you some velocity changes, and it looks like that the Major League Baseball may, according to all the science and data, have lowered the seams on these baseballs, Terry. And now they're flying out left and right. And Home Run Derby is this weekend, All-Star weekend. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes, but. They're really trying to pump up this home run, Terry. What do you think about that?
I despise the home run derby. We said this last week, and I after the first couple times that they had it, then I started it's not a great big thing for me to watch anymore. I mean, you know, I'll flip it on Sports Center or something the next day and see who won. But as far as me watching it, I maybe watch the first couple of guys come up, and then that's it. I mean, it's not nothing that's very interesting to me.
It turned into a 3-hour event.
Well, it has.
It's tough. It's tough to stay tuned to something like that. Like watching one guy hit. When they were starting to hit 15, 20 homers, you're like, well, okay, that's a lot. If everybody's doing that, we're all going to be out here all day. Maybe too many outs. They change the rules every year. It's like the NASCAR All-Star race. Every year going in, something's different.
Yeah, this will be the third year of I believe the timed limit. It doesn't go to 10 outs, which I think has actually made it better because people are trying to hurry and get their.
Well, Pujols taking pitches all day out there. And some of them, waiting for the perfect pitches. You're right, Smoke. It would take forever.
And the first one they did with Todd Frazier, I remember that one very well. That was a very, very fun one. I didn't really remember last year's as much, but this one has the potential to be a very fun one because, we're starting to see these young guys like Cody Bellinger and Aaron Judge, of course, and two big guys in two big markets coming over to Miami, going against Giancarlo Stanton, who won the home run derby last year, who's one of the biggest power hitters in the majors. This could be his last really big event in Miami because he could be shipped out because Miami's looking to rebuild even though they haven't made the playoffs since they won it in, I think, 2003. Just shows you how bad the Marlins are at really building the team. But
you know how the Marlins are, though. When they do go build a team, they build a solid team. They get every player that you can think of in every position, and they go on to win the World Series.
And
They've
done
it twice.
Yeah,
and then very next year they do.
The
They
Marlins
get rid of all
are
of
the
them.
pride of the National League East, right?
I know.
Aren't they? I mean,
well, they've won more than the Braves.
The
They're tied with
Atlanta
the Mets.
Braves.
Yeah, they're tied. Yeah, they're tied with the Mets.
The Mets have been here since '65.
But it's amazing to me, though, when they build a team, they win it. The very next year, they trade everybody.
And they trade them for bad people. Like you look at the Miguel Cabrera
look at
trade.
the Cubs situation. They should have traded everybody, shouldn't they? They'd be paying less money to be losers this year. I mean, that's what Miami's doing. Like, we're probably going to win it again, so we'll just trade everybody. I guess what they're talking about. We got all kinds of things to talk about. Cavs signed. What's his first name? Green.
Hunter Green?
Big tall Green. Don't make me click on the link.
Jermichael Green.
Jeff Green.
Jeff Green.
There we go.
I was thinking we was talking about the other guy.
The Cavs signed Jermichael Green. Who is Jermichael Green?
He's the small forward for Memphis.
Sounds like a football player you just made up. Don't
It's pretty good. Well, the problem is he's restricted, so I don't think.
A couple of other things across. He's talking about them home runs. Judge in New York has already passed the all-time Yankee rookie mark, and we're at the All-Star break, Terry.
Yeah.
So that tells you all you need to know about home runs and rookies. I mean, they've had some pretty good ones over the years.
When it helps that's one of the biggest hitter-friendly ballparks in terms of getting home runs.
We've got Mayweather-McGregor going to fight coming up. Big fight, Terry, right? Terry's quarterback, Dak Prescott's doing fake signatures right now, just letting the machine do it. Bobby Knight's got some reports about him, some bad reports about him, and some.
People are talking about boxing us for a couple days, which is miraculous because someone got screwed in a fight because of a decision.
Well,
they did.
Everybody thinks Pacquiao was screwed. The WBC's actually going to go back and rescore it, but they can't change it.
Why wouldn't you go back and rescore? Did y'all stay up and watch it?
No,
I
did.
That it was bad.
I did. I stayed up and watched the whole fight. And don't get me wrong, Horn kept pursuing, never did go away except in one round in the ninth, and Pacquiao beat him to death in the ninth round. I mean, it's a wonder the kid didn't fall and go down, but he made it through it. And, and that's what Pacquiao gave him a lot of credit. He says, I had him in the ninth, and he didn't go fall. Mm-hmm. But as far as the rest of the rounds, Horn kept coming at him, but never really was hurting Pacquiao. Pacquiao's face looked like it had never been touched after the fight, But, I mean, for Horn, he had cuts and bruises and daggum swollen face and stuff like that. He got ripped. I mean, Horn only hit 15% of his punches. 15.
And he wins the championship by decision. I mean, if you're Pacquiao,
in his home country.
And Pacquiao was like 37, 38%, I think he hit, and he landed way more punches. Mm-hmm. But they said they wasn't solid. But you know how they do this. That's a solid punch. What is a solid punch?
Well, I'm one of those fat boxing fans that I don't watch this McGregor and Mayweather and these little guys that I weigh more in that are in a slap fest. I mean, we talk about they're in these boxing guys, but they weigh $145. Like, I mean, I weighed that in, I think, 11th, 10th grade in high school. So, I mean, I'm not, to me, it's little kids slapping each other, and they're not knocking each other out. To me, a boxing match isn't over until somebody's knocked out. We're watching Tyson and stuff like
Go
this.
Go back to the old days.
Exactly. You in the box team, somebody's knocked out. Who cares how many rounds we're out here? That's what the thing when everybody talks about how great Floyd is. Well, my goodness, if the game, and I know that's the game, that's the sweet science of boxing. Don't yell at me. But if the game is to just slap people and run away from them, and who can do it the most, and that's a different game than what I would like to see boxing. I went back. They were showing on TV the other day, the fight where Tyson bit Holyfield twice. Even in that fight, they were slinging punches that I would not want at any point in my life on the receiving end of that, Terry. I mean, they were going at it, big punches. You know, they're the heavyweights. I understand. And then you get in these little slap fest in here, and then you end up with arguments like this because judges, right, Terry? If you want to win, knock them out, right?
And two of them was from the United States.
And the ref bout called the guy.
Yeah,
out
he did.
Was it
in the ninth round, he come to him and told him if he could not come back out, he says, you got to show me something. You know, he says, I'm getting ready to stop this fight, but you're going to have to come and show me something.
That's why any of these sports, the Olympic sports or any of the ones, if there's a judge involved, to me, I don't call it a sport. I mean, to me, it's not a sport because you're not letting someone else do. It's like, is the dunk contest a sport? We got 3 or 5 people over here showing up numbers.
It's just an event.
That'd be the same thing as in the Olympics. All these things in the Olympics where they show up a number. That hey, you got a 50 for doing 5 backflips on the gymnastics floor. That's to me is like a dunk contest. So when you got the judges over here telling you who won, how do you know who won? Like Terry says, everybody thinks Pacquiao won, but the 3 boxing experts over there with the scorecard said the other guy won.
Yeah, and they had Timothy Bradley. He was there, and he was saying, he said, this fight's a lot closer than what you think. And then the other guys was like, no, Pacquiao's pretty much won it, you know. But he kept saying only kind of the way Horn kept coming at him. You know, he never was backing down except in the 9th round. But, I mean, this fight reminded me of when I go back and I remember Muhammad Ali fighting Leon Spinks. And Leon Spinks beat him the first time. And, you know, next thing you know, people's like, who is Leon Spinks? You know, he's Michael Spinks' brother. Okay, so who is still Leon Spinks? You know, but then on the front cover of Sports Illustrated had his picture and everything with his teeth missing, and everybody's like, who is this guy? Okay, then they refought, and Muhammad beat him to death. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, that's what this is going to happen. Pacquiao and him are going to refight again.
Yeah.
And Pacquiao's going to beat him this time. I mean, it's not going to be like this.
Well, before the match happened, there was a rematch clause put into the contract.
Yes, sure was.
Yeah, but you hate it for Pacquiao because he's, you know, on his last legs. He's pretty much 40 on, if not already. So,
but
I mean,
look what he said. After the fight, they asked him, and he says, look, the guy took my 9th round. He said he come back out for the 10th. I mean, I gave him everything I had then. And he took it graciously. He never backed down. He never went away from saying the guy did. And they asked him, did he think he won? And he says, it's the judges, you know. I mean, that's how he just left it. He never, complained.
Pacquiao's trainer said that, you know, it's hard to be a senator. You can't be a senator and a congressman and a fighter.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of people have said that, you know, since Manny has started doing the congressman thing there in the Philippines, that, you know, it has taken him away from being, you know, to be a fighter, you got to have a little ruthlessness in you that you might not have as experienced as a congressman or something. But hey, you know, there could be some ruthless congressmen. I'm sure that.
And you know, the fights are coming on, and they always state, well, this fight ought to start at 11. Well, forget that. It was after 12 when the fight finally started. I mean, you know, then it gets over. I think it's about 1:30.
I was going to say, how did you like the free TV part, or not the free? I mean, you're paying for it. Did you like it being on ESPN rather than
that's what it's got to be?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got right now, as you know as well as I do, Floyd Mayweather and Conor are trying to build so much money that they can split. You know, well, Mayweather's going to get the most. But, I mean, he don't even do it unless he's going to get the most money. That's just how he is. But they're trying to build this fight, and it's going to be on this pay-per-view, and people are going to pay tons of money. I mean, I don't know how y'all look at that fight. I look at it in 2 ways. You're in a boxing match now. Conor, you're going to have to knock him out. But, hey, Mayweather's been hit by a lot of people, and I don't think you're going to knock that dude out. But at what he's going to do, Mayweather's going to get him in the middle of the ring and just dot his head a few times with quick jabs and movement. And I don't think Mayweather can consistently
There's some people saying
stay.
Mayweather is so much better than McGregor. He's going to knock.
He is.
He probably is boxing wise.
Yeah, boxing.
But they're saying, but some people, but they're saying he's going to knock him out. And
I don't think he'll knock him out.
Floyd ain't knocked anybody out in almost 13, 14 years now. He's 40 years old, and like I said, they slap each other. He's not knocking Conor McGregor out. I mean, unless McGregor just gets in a daze or something and he can't move and he hits him like 10 times in a row or something, there's no way that Floyd is knocking him out.
Unless you're going to have one of these Manny Pacquiao horn deals again.
Well,
you know who's going to win. The judges on the boxing between these two. Terry's right. McGregor's going to have to knock him out. I mean, that's the whole point of the match. You're just hoping McGregor can knock him out.
Well, I'd say this. I think he probably will, because McGregor's so green in this area of field of fighting that I don't know how he's going to do. And I see this is going to be a waste of money. You're putting in $100 for a guy who is past his prime, going against a guy who's in his prime but is not in the sport that he excels at. So why would I waste money on that after so many people wasted over $100 to watch two of the biggest names of boxing in the last 15 years have one of the most anticlimactic sporting events in recent history, you know?
As far as McGregor's strategy, Terry, goes, do you think that he should kind of push the envelope as far as the rules go just to make Floyd think about things like that? Like, not go totally low, not totally headbutt him, but, give him a little butt here and there, kind of like, I watched it at Holyfield Tyson. Vander was headbutting Tyson, and Tyson said he was headbutting me. That's why I bit him and snapped. Man, he was. So, like, they get close. Does McGregor, take a couple little turns here or there, a little elbow here, a little something there, just to get you, because that's his only chance in it, is to get Floyd to think something different than what he normally does so he can land a punch. He's got to be able to land it before he can knock him out.
Yeah, don't you think in this fight, my opinion is Connor's got to come at him from round one. I got to go get him now. Because if the longer the fight lasts, are they both in physical shape? Yes. Both of them can go the distance. But I think that Connor's going to have to come at him in round one, round two, round three to try to knock him out, because the longer it goes, the more Mayweather's been in fights like that, and he's just going to dance around him and jab him in his face.
It's going to be a dance.
As long as he don't get him up against the ropes, and then Connor can just all of a sudden just well away, I don't see that happening much. It's going to happen a few times, but I don't see it happening much.
All right. We got some more stuff to talk about here on Sports Talk today. We got American Legion Baseball. Game 3s tonight. Shelby and Cherryville both won last night, Terry, to win their first two games. They both take a 2-0 lead in the series. Cherryville tonight will be at Fraley Field in Cherryville for Game 3. They won last night 6-2. First game 10-5 in Gastonia. Cherryville's a higher seed. They started the first game in Gastonia because of the scheduling conflict with the Grizzlies, but they got it all settled now. And tonight, like I said, 7 o'clock, Cherryville, and you can listen to that on WCSL 1590. Nope, Smoke, did that change? Are we on WLON on that one for tonight because the race is on?
Looks like yes.
Yes. I thought that was right, folks. Cherryville tonight. Sorry, Cherryville tonight is on WLON 1050 AM, not WCSL tonight. Okay. WCSL tonight is covering NASCAR. They're in Kentucky, right?
They're in Kentucky, and I think I don't know if we'll cover the Xfinity race. Cause
no, I don't think so. I think it's just the NASCAR.
Yeah, because the Xfinity race got pulled back to today after severe storms, and they wanted to keep everyone safe.
Right. So you got a schedule there in front of you?
I got it right.
Sure I get it exactly right.
All right.
I'm not here guessing.
So today, which is Saturday, July 8th, starting at 3:50, we'll have Atlanta Braves baseball taking on the Nationals. Braves lost last night in extra innings. Then at 6:30 on WCSL will be the Quaker State 400, as the Monster Energy Cup Series is in the Bluegrass state of Kentucky. And then at 6:45 on WOHS 1390 AM and the Boss 101.5 FM. Shelby looks to close out the series against Taylorsville as they take on Taylorsville at Alexander Central High School. And then on 6:45 p.m. at WLON 1050 AM, it's Game 3 as Cherryville Post 100 looks to sweep Gastonia Post 23 to Rebels at Fraley Field.
All right, this Shelby team, Terry, you talk about the way they're going to be tough until in these early on series. It's because they've got these hitters from Crest and such that are really good. That they went out to the state championship, and that those boys can swing it. They play in this huge park here in Shelby, so when they go on the road and play in some of these high school parks and some of these parks that aren't as big as theirs, I think they're tougher on the road maybe than they are at home because of the park size and the way they hit the ball. They get into a park that's smaller than theirs, it turns into home run derby, and they put some runs on the board. And they'll be up in Alexander Central tonight. Smoke, you've been up there, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen the ballpark, but I think it's definitely smaller than Keeter Stadium. You're not going to find many ballparks around here, at least high school, that are the size of Keeter Stadium.
All right, we got, like I said, Braves and Nationals coming up 3:50. They've been at some Twitter wars of late. You Panthers have been playing cutesy on Twitter as well, and all kinds of fun Twitter stuff in the area right now. You know, what's the number one thing that Panthers and Falcons fans have in common, Terry?
I have no idea. Go ahead and tell us.
They're all Braves fans.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty hard to argue.
Most Falcons and most Panthers fans are Braves fans, so they have something in common. All three of them together.
I'm an outlier.
Yeah, and Smoke. I don't know what Smoke's doing. Mark, I don't know what you did with this kid, but
well, he's an Orioles fan. That's the thing.
So, and it's funny watching all you guys argue, like the Panthers and it's fun. The Panthers and Falcons fans will argue on Twitter, and then
they'll argue about the Hawks and Hornets too.
Right. Then the Braves and National fans sit there and argue. And I'm like, these are all like the same people arguing with each other, basically. and then seeing those teams like the Nationals and the Braves arguing with each other over. I mean, it's like the Panthers and Falcons arguing on Twitter and stuff. Neither one of you won anything, and y'all just sitting there you ain't got nothing better to do than play Twitter fights. Y'all are so fun. Okay. All right, it's time for a break. American Legion baseball tonight, right, Smoke? 7 o'clock we got Shelby and Taylorsville and Cherville and the Gastonia Rebels is what they're called. Gastonia is the only team that's beaten that beat Cherville this year in the regular season there. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Start your engine!
Kentucky Speedway.
We got cars into the wall as they exit turn 4.
It's the Quaker State 400.
Johnson with a big wiggle almost catches the wall. Mark Truex Jr. goes to the low side and takes away the race lead. Now Harvick will try to get second from Keselowski. Here comes Kevin Harvick. He wants the lead.
Catch all the excitement of the Quaker State 400 from Kentucky Speedway. Saturday, July 8th at 6:30.
The Quaker State 400, Saturday night at 6:30 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
It's unstoppable in any season, any weather. Yes, it's hard to stop these great offers from Train and Roland Black Heated and Cooling in Gastonia. It's the Weather Any Season sale. Right now, buy a qualifying system and choose 0% APR financing for 60 months or get a trade-in allowance of $1,000. Additional financing and trade-in allowance offers are available. See Roland Black Heated and Cooling for the details. The Weather Any Season sale at Roland Black Heated and Cooling, 501 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Call 704-865-1375. The Orange Opportunity Sales Event is underway at Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Come in now and ask about 0% financing for 84 months on select Kubota tractors with a big 6-year warranty. Come on in for all the details and don't miss it. The Orange Opportunity Sales Event underway now at Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive off the Oak Grove Road and Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain.
That's what happens when you let Smoke on the board, Terry.
Yeah, I know.
Turns into a wrestling match in there. Oh, yeah.
21 years ago yesterday, Hulk Hogan turns into Hollywood Hogan.
That's big news 21 years ago, Terry. What are you shaking your head at?
I
mean, huge news. That's huge.
I know there's a lot of wrestling fans out here, but come on. It's all sketched. Everybody knows what's going to happen. I don't like anything.
CNN don't know it's all sketched. It's going to happen.
So is boxing.
they're worried. Yeah. At least they don't have judges on the side after the match.
Yeah, that don't know what's going on.
So, well, he pinned him, but this guy landed more body shots, so he's the winner tonight in tonight's wrestling match. I think, what if that happened after every wrestling match?
I mean, I can sit there and watch a little bit just for the fun of it, but to be serious about it, I mean, there's some die-hard wrestling mania people out here who believe everything that happens is the true thing.
This is still real to me, Terry.
I know.
All right, we're going to move on to some of our other stuff to talk about today. Fun times there. Celtics, Terry. It's NBA trade time and draft time, and everything's went down here the last few days, and who we got what, and Hornets now have Malik Monk. He's slightly injured, not playing in summer ball.
Unfortunately, missed summer
sprained
league.
an ankle. They've got Dwight Howard. The Celtics, Terry, in the East, have they gotten better or worse, Terry? And everybody's debating on that as Avery Bradley's traded to Detroit for Marcus Morris. You signed Gordon Hayward, and you got Jason Tatum.
Yeah, we did, and Tatum is showing a lot in the summer league. He's playing very well. But as far as the deal here, I just think we gave up an up-and-coming Avery Bradley who's starting to learn how to play in the NBA, and I think we gave away defense. I don't know whether we've got that back. I mean, we get Hayward. Hayward can play, but I also seen Hayward play in games that I was not very impressed with him because there's a lot of shots I thought he should have taken he did not take. So, I don't know. You kind of going to have to wait and see. Did this thing work out for Boston or not? I just think you gave up a good player for a good player, and sometimes that don't benefit either way. So, I still think that we're still the number 2 team in the East. I mean, I don't think that's helped us catch up with Cleveland any. These trades that we just made, and we get Morris. I mean, okay, Morris, he's okay. He can play, but he's not a name that's thrown out there every day for people to remember. But I don't know.
I still need a shot blocker, don't you?
Yeah, we still got to have somebody in the middle, and we're not going to get that. I mean, that's just not going to come along.
Well, you had to clear cap space since you signed Gordon Hayward to a 4-year,
Yeah,
$128 million deal. Avery Bradley, I know he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I just think this is probably the best you're going to get from Avery Bradley. And I'd take Gordon Hayward over Bradley. It looks like the team, I think, has made a slight improvement.
If Tatum can play defense, it does. I don't think you miss Bradley.
Yeah,
because you're going to have
yeah.
Hayward and Tatum out there. Is the goal at some point. And if Tatum can play, I think you don't miss him because somebody can Marcus Smart and everybody can make up for the offensive end. But Hayward's not that bad. That's the old white boy stigmatism. But he's not that bad.
He
on
would have
defense.
been an all-star if he wasn't in the West.
He probably will be. Now in the East,
Oh, yeah.
and he can score. I mean, he can score.
Yeah,
Terry.
he can score.
He's exactly what y'all didn't have on the wing is somebody you could give the ball to and score.
But we're giving up a guy who was averaging almost 17 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
This is his tops. This is what I'm saying. He's up and coming. He hasn't. I don't think he's got to where he can be.
Right.
He averages more in points, more in assists, more rebounds than he ever has in his career this past year. That's the reason I'm saying I don't know whether it's a good move or a bad move. I would love to have got Hayward and been able to keep Bradley. But now we have to give up somebody, and like you talking about.
Would you rather give up Marcus Smart?
I would have.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that would have been the one that I would have gave up.
Tenured Celtic on the team.
Yeah. That is incredible.
A lot of people said you should have got rid of Isaiah when you had a chance before the draft, and so a lot of things they could have did would have could have should have. You could have had Lonzo Ball. He went 1 for 11 from 3-point land last night.
I think 2 of 15 overall.
2 of 15 overall. 1 of 11 from 3.
He's the leader.
Yeah, man.
He's the new Magic.
He had a good alley-oop to Brandon Ingram, who's got the worst haircut ever now. Have you seen that, Smoke?
I think I saw it a little bit.
Yeah, he needs to stop that. Then, but Ingram did score, I think, 18 or 26. Something like Ingram went off pretty good. I mean, he's a good player. He just need to do something about that hair.
He just needs to. He's just so young and he's so skinny and lanky. I think that he's just got to get more muscle. And I think with time that'll happen more and more with Ingram. Just that the Lakers will give him a shot.
So does that mean Giannis is now the second best player in the East officially?
It's pretty darn arguable. I think you could make a good case for Giannis Antetokounmpo being the second best player in the East. Probably not on the second best team. I think that's still the Celtics. But yeah, that Bucks team is extremely fun and extremely young as well.
Toronto stayed the same. Philadelphia is basically adding Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz and J.J. Redick, so they should improve it. You'd think a few wins at least. Now, we're not saying they're going to totally turn around.
Can they be in the playoffs?
Maybe.
They could.
If everybody plays, we don't know. If everybody plays, they should be right. Could be the 8 seed. Nah, less 7 seed. You don't know. In the East. That's why I was about to go down all the teams.
Yeah.
So what has Chicago done? They gotten worse.
They're rebuilding. They're rebuilding again.
Cleveland stayed the same. Detroit, now they've gotten a little bit better. You had Avery Bradley.
And you still got Stan Van Gundy coaching.
Stan Van's there. Indiana.
They gave up Paul George.
Yeah, that was their whole franchise.
So, I mean, they're getting worse. Milwaukee. They should be decent. Atlanta's giving up.
Atlanta's no good.
Charlotte and Miami are two teams in the Southeast. Is the Southeast going to be the toughest division there? Miami, Washington, and Charlotte?
I want to tell you, this is how it should finish. This is just my predictions. Should be Cleveland. Should be Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Then it should be Washington, and then Charlotte.
You got Charlotte as the 4.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's going to be close with them
East,
at 4 or 5.
I think 4 through, or this year 3 through, it was almost 3 through 8 in the standings. Were that
Charlotte's
close.
Vastly improved.
Well, yeah, you've added Dwight Howard and you added a premier rebounder, shot blocker in the NBA, and you added hopefully another scorer on the wing
microwave
for
scorer at the very least. Yeah.
So you're looking at Charlotte. Charlotte, Miami, Detroit were the first 3 teams out of the playoffs this year. Looking who's in ahead of them: Chicago, Atlanta, and the Pacers, which all have pretty much tanked to giving up this offseason. Mm-hmm. So there's 3 teams that those 3 teams can easily replace, unless you think in the Knicks and Magic and Sixers are going to make some leaps ahead of them. Charlotte's in a good spot to get in the playoffs now. Looking at 3 through, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 5 through looks like 11. We're basically 3 or 4 games out of each other. So there's big, you can be anywhere from the 4 or 5 seed to the 11th seed there in the East with about the same record. To get up there in the top 4, you need about 50 wins. Terry, you see 50 from Charlotte? They're at 36 last year. That's a big jump.
Well, what was?
But everybody else has got so the people ahead of them got
Washington
worse.
had 49.
Washington had 49. That was the cutoff point. I was going. You need to right at 50 to close to 50 to get there.
You need to get home court to really win.
I think Charlotte can go back to where they was like a couple years ago with 45, 47 wins.
You get in the playoffs, you never know against a team because it's all about matchups.
And who gets injured at the wrong time.
Honestly, Charlotte would. I know you're gonna sound. I'm gonna sound crazy in this. Charlotte don't match up bad with Cleveland at all. As far as defensively, what does Cleveland like to do? Like to drive to the hole and kick it out, right? So if they drive to the hole, we got Dwight Howard down there. Okay, they've got a LeBron at wing. Well, you've got MKG can try to guard him. Batum can try to guard him. Marvin can try to guard him. There's 3 people right there, and we've seen over the years, the more bodies you throw at him, this is what Indiana used to do. They used to throw bodies at him and had Roy Hibbert in the middle. Charlotte throws bodies at LeBron and now have Dwight in the middle. They could steal a game or 2. I'm not going to say they're going to beat Cleveland in the series, but my goodness, they're not going to get swept by them either, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think it's a whole different story when you go from what Charlotte had now that you put Dwight in the middle. People coming to the hole is not going to consistently happen.
Well, people's coming to the hole when they see Cody Zeller and Frank Kaminsky down there, they're not afraid to bring it down there.
They're going to come.
Well, and I want to make a point here to Charlotte. They've kind of been up and down the last few years. Before Clifford got here with Dunlap, they won about 21, 22 games. And Clifford first year got them to 43. Then they swung and missed trying to get Gordon Hayward because Utah matched, and then they desperately tried to get Lance Stevenson. Then they moved down to about 33 wins. Then they move up to 48 wins, and then back down to 36 wins. So it's kind of up, down, up, down, up, down. They're with the moves they made, I can't see them having another down year. I think they'll at least get 45 wins. 50 is definitely in play. Just got to be getting a good start and continue to get better as the season goes along.
Howard last year was 4th in rebounds, 20th in blocks. Looking at the minutes play, it's about right. Just some interesting people you wouldn't think was in the blocks. Giannis was 6th and Durant 9th.
Well, both
Kevin
of them
Durant was 9th in blocks last year. So you can talk about his offense and how good he is on offense. He led his team in blocks. He's ahead of Draymond, of course. I would imagine Zaza and the rest of them. But Charlotte's getting something they really about haven't had in a long time.
Since the original Hornets, yeah.
It's almost been since Alonzo since they've had a premier shot blocking, rebounding center down there. Vlade was there. Vlade was good. Everybody's mad because he wasn't Alonzo or he wasn't Kobe. But Vlade made the playoffs in the game. Terry, I got a trade for you. It might be possible. So with all you've done this offseason, I want to trade Al Horford for DeAndre Jordan.
Well, I must say what
you need shot blocking and rebounding, and Horford don't do it.
Yeah, but that bird of some gun can't shoot a free throw.
Well, Terry,
At least Horford can hit a free
I was
throw.
about to say, but Horford, you don't need his offense anymore now. You got Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, but I'd rather have Horford than daggum get a guy that somebody's going to foul at the end of a game and make him go to the line.
I was just saying, that's somebody that could be available. There's rumors Marc Gasol could be available. Maybe coming to Boston might be looking at something like Gasol.
Why would you want Jordan? I mean, I'm just going to say that. I understand that he can do all this thing, but why do I want a guy, even if they intentionally say he's going to automatically get 2 shots, if you foul him, he still cannot hit 2 shots?
He led the NBA in field goal percentage.
Okay.
He was 3rd in rebound.
The only thing he can do is lay up and dunk.
He tied for 2nd rebound. He was 1st in field goal percentage. So it's not too bad, Terry.
He's an elite defensive big. He's right up there with Rudy Gobert.
He tied for 7th in blocks, 1.65 a game. Gobert at 264. That's just ridiculous.
We'll just leave. We'll stay with Horford. At least our guy can pop out and hit a 3 every now
Well,
and
there
then.
you go. Now, then don't complain to me next year, Terry.
You know,
when everybody in the East is just
but
dunking
you're trying
all
to get
over
me to
themselves.
take Jordan over Horford. That's not even going to come close.
They're both all-stars.
Yeah,
and one plays
nah.
defense, one plays offense.
That's all right. I'll stick with
You just
what
let
we
LeBron
got.
dunk all over you all day game. He can have his 45.
I'll just stick with where we're at.
All right. Well,
LeBron might be gone after next year.
What y'all gonna do when Charlotte gets by y'all?
It's been so long since
Y'all
Charlotte beat Boston.
Y'all don't have anybody that can guard Dwight Howard. What y'all gonna do about
Boston
him?
fans are still salty about '93, I believe.
Didn't Howard used to kill
about when smoke? Man, Lord, he has to go all the way back to '93.
What'd he say?
I think you're still salty about '93 because the Hornets retired McHale and Bird.
Yeah. 93.
And Parrish went over to Charlotte.
Think of that. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Have to go 25 years back. That's pretty good.
Just asking what round Hornets made it to. Second. 3 times, right? They made the second round 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's
4
just,
times or
when
3?
you go against Jordan, I think once or twice.
It's either 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I mean, you got to play Jordan in the second round,
Might have been
or someone else, or the Knicks or the Pacers in the second round. It's not like the East is now, where you don't have to play anybody in the playoffs. Just ridiculous how everyone has went west, isn't it, Terry?
It is.
I mean, what if LeBron goes west?
And that's a possibility could happen.
Hornets gonna be the best team in the East by default.
It could be
like Hornets and the Bucks in the
final,
Eastern Conference
like
Finals.
the early 2000s when the Lakers and Kobe and Shaq were going against like the Nets with only Jason Kidd, and the Sixers team where Allen just willed his way to give them at least 1 win. So some of those early 2000s NBA Finals were not pretty whatsoever. It was just the East teams were outmatched completely by the Lakers.
Coming out of Oklahoma City, they're already saying, if they're not in, top 3-4 teams there in the West, but when the trade deadline comes through, it could be Westbrook and Paul George sent out of Oklahoma City. You got a chance at that. Does anybody want to take a rental at something at one of those two when you know they're both wanting probably to go to L.A., whether it be the Clippers or the Lakers? Don't forget, the Clippers are getting a brand new stadium down the road. They're not going to be not together, and they're moving to the really, really rich neighborhood area. So let's.
But they're still the Clippers.
Well, they got Chris Paul to sign there and go there, and everyone else, Terry.
Did they win a championship?
Nope.
Okay.
Well,
the banana boat could be wearing it. Well, the NBA is going to logo. They're going to start selling ads on their jerseys, right? Sponsorship.
Toronto's got a hotel.
The banana boat logo works perfect on the Lakers uniforms. I mean, they will now be the Los Angeles Banana Boat Lakers.
Hey, at least we got Jordan Brand. That looks good on the jersey.
Is that the Hornets official?
Yeah, I think
that's their official.
So I mean,
sponsor?
that's not. I'm not going to complain out of because we usually see.
No, that looks great.
Yeah.
So as long as they don't put that Gronk logo on there. That he's suing. Did you see that, Terry?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you like that, that the NBA is going to let them have endorsements on there?
I'm not a big fan of it, but if the Jordan brand, I don't mind it because you usually see the people that make the jerseys, their logo on the jersey, so I'm used to it. But when I see StubHub on the 76ers jerseys this year, the whatever hotels on the Toronto Raptors. I mean, it's going to look weird. I don't want it to become completely
the
like
small
soccer.
shoulders patches.
I mean, yeah.
They ain't, I'm not going to say that you even notice them that they're that bad. I'm more offended at the 10 jerseys they wear, and I'm more offended by the T-shirts that they wear as jerseys during games. The Cavs black jerseys and the Hornets Buzz City things. These things are god awful looking. The T-shirt jerseys. I'm more offended by that than I am. As long as it don't say across the chest,
Like
Best
soccer,
Best
yeah.
Buy. like you do in soccer. Soccer,
I couldn't buy jerseys with that.
I don't understand the soccer stuff at all like that. So as long as they don't go that way, I guess I don't have too terrible of a problem with it. But at what point do you make? How much money do you make?
Yeah, that's what it's
these
all
are
about.
millionaire and billionaires charging you $8 and $9 for a hot dog. So remember that. Remember how hungry you are. And also what you're paying for when you're eating that $9 hot dog is the guys in the luxury suites not paying for hot dogs. You're paying for their hot dogs too. So I don't know. Everything seems like a money grab, and that's exactly what it is. I just don't want to get too out of hand, right? I mean, we don't want to see the Best Buy of Los Angeles.
I guess Los Angeles Clippers would have windows on it, or not, or whatever Steve Ballmer was with, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Clippers, I think they'll still be maybe vying for that 8th spot. I mean, they made some moves. They lost Chris Paul and Jamal Crawford, so they lost both their point guards. They got that foreign guy who could really pass the ball. I don't know his name, but I've seen highlights. He can pass it. Yeah, and they got Danilo Gallinari. That's a risk considering he can't stay. He's not played more than 70 games in the last 4 years, but when he's on he's just a straight up scorer.
Well, let's look out west real quick. Are the Clippers making the playoffs?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I think the Clippers fall from number 4 all the way down to a number, I'm gonna say 10 or 11.
All right. What about Utah?
Utah does not make it neither. I think they fall completely out of it.
OKC, do they get better?
Yes.
So we're putting them up in the 4 spot right now?
Yes.
Memphis?
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll stay in about that same spot, maybe 6
They
guys.
lost their 2 best players.
Which ones?
Zach Randolph and Vince Carter. Went to Sacramento.
No. If it was 5 years ago, yeah.
They're talking, they're talking about Gasol leaving. They're going to trade Gasol too.
Well, they still got Gasol right now.
So
and
who
they still
they
got
have?
Conley.
So they have Mike Conley and Marc Gasol, and
they got some low risk moves that I think could replace a guy like Vince Carter with Tyreek Evans and Ben McLemore.
They're not getting better. They might stay in the 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to stay the same.
They lost Zebo.
Zebo has been he's been a good guy off the bench. He's kind of like that Al Jefferson role was for the Hornets 2 years ago. But at this point, Zebo's just do you bring in for a veteran presence? And
they're retiring his number 2.
My 2 that I take out the Clippers and the Jazz, bump them out, and then I stick in New Orleans and Minnesota.
What about Portland?
Yeah, they'll still be in it. They'll still be battling for 7 or 8 seed.
It's going to be close.
Forgetting about the 1 down here.
All right, well, I know they re-signed.
Dallas
why?
Mavericks.
No, can you tell me why Nowinski signed for?
He's stupid.
Yeah, that made no sense to me.
I mean,
he is one of the top players of all time to me in the NBA, and they signed him for nothing.
If your team's not going to be any good, well, no. What I meant by that, if your team's not going to sign anybody else, because you got to spend that money, you got to hit the floor. Well, why is he letting them? He's giving Mark.
He's been giving them pay cuts for 5 years,
and he's been doing it for like Smoke said, 4 or 5 years now because he was told and thought that they would get free agents coming to Dallas, and nobody, not a single one, has come to Dallas. Not a single one. So the only way they've been able to get people over the years is to trade them. Now, why is nobody wanting to play with Dirk? Well, how many young NBA players or something want to come be the second fiddle to a big, tall, white German?
Yeah.
You're not going to get to these free agents that want to come in and be the second fiddle to him. So you have to build in the draft and trade for it. And the plan for Dirk to take the pay cut and stuff didn't work out. So Dirk's probably been crapped out of $50 million at least over the last 5 years.
He wouldn't have done this if he didn't get a ring in 2011.
Right. And
they got to be something in it for him when all this is over.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're going to retire his number.
I know that, but I mean, they've got to be something.
I'm going to give you $50 million off.
They'll name the court after him.
Jersey.
I mean, he's going to have some kind
Terry's
of...
talking about they're going to have to be paying him money. He's going to have a job or some type of
that's what I'm
his
thinking.
loyalties to Cuban. He's spent 20 years now with one team, and these days that's incredibly rare to see in the NBA.
Well, I think they make the playoffs next year. They added your boy Terry Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah.
They got Nerlens Noel from half the season last year, and once they got him, they started improving vastly.
Well, they just got it's a restricted free agent. They haven't, I don't think, offered him yet, but they probably will be the front runners for him. They will.
There was somebody else that I think was about to sign with them. I was trying to find that.
Harrison Barnes is coming off one of his best, probably his best scoring.
He had
year.
20 a game this year, so you get a healthy season from you get a healthy season from everybody. I think the Mavs will make the playoffs. Terry and talk about them Timberwolves. Everybody's talking about adding Jimmy Butler and Jeff Teague instead of Ricky Rubio.
Traded him, to Utah.
So you think they'll be in the playoffs, Terry?
Yes.
I mean, the problem was that the Timberwolves really last year could not close out close games, which is a problem the Hornets had, and their defense wasn't the best even with Thibodeau. And you know, there's so many young players on that Timberwolves team. You look at Karl Anthony Towns, one of the best big men already in the NBA. And Andrew Wiggins, of course, is just really good at the 3 spot. I mean, they made the move to get Jimmy Butler, and I don't think they gave up the worst amount. The best player they gave up was Zach LaVine.
Where's Justin Jackson?
He's with Sacramento.
Okay. So they got De'Aaron Fox, Justin Jackson, Zach Randolph, Vince Carter. They're going to win a couple more games. George Hill. They're going to win a couple more games than they did last year. Sacramento might be one of the teams to make a move there, Terry, towards the 8 seed. Well, Terry, look at this. I mean, they're only like 4 or 5. Let's see, 35. 8 games from behind the.
They are certain teams, and this is my deal. When you say the Clippers, I don't give a darn if this son of guns goes out here and he gets every. I'm just saying. Now listen to me. I don't care what he goes out here and he gets every number 1 pick. It's the Clippers. They're not going to make it. Sacramento Kings is the same way.
Clippers was the 4 seed.
You know, they're not going to make it.
Sacramento's made the.
It's like the Atlanta Hawks in the East. They're going to make the playoffs, but guess what? They're beating the first round and they're out of it. It's simple.
That's fine.
Well,
Charlotte Hornets basketball.
The Kings have definitely improved, but I think they're doing this more to grow their rookie class. You know,
right?
I mean, I don't know if they'll. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this upcoming year, but you know, maybe 2 years, depending on what happens.
Name me 4 players on the Kings last year, Terry. I just named you 4 this year, new players. Name me 4 from last year's team.
I cannot.
Okay, well that team you can't name anybody in won 32. Add those 4 guys, they got to get close to 40, ain't they? That's playoff.
Okay, and they is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th.
They tanked hard once they got rid of Cousins, because Cousins was really putting them into 9.
They were battling the Lakers for the ball.
Yeah, and they just added 4 good players.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, they're going to get close to 40 games.
I mean, you got a good point
guard.
guard.
They're not going to be worse. They won 32 games.
You're too deep at point guard. They're pretty good.
They won 32.
Right.
They'll have a maximum win this year of 35.
Okay, they might, but that's still,
I think that's more because of the West.
If they get 35, Terry, that's 5-6 games out of the 8th spot. That's all I said. They can get to the 8.
There's no way.
No way. All right, Lakers. They gonna make the playoffs?
No.
No.
No, LeVar. They're not gonna make the finals, and Lonzo's not gonna average a quadruple double. So
he's talking about him being rookie of the year too. I don't think he's gonna be rookie of the year either.
I think your biggest fall off out of all of those.
I think De'Aaron Fox is going to be the rookie of the year in Sacramento.
Will be the Clippers.
They're going to drop big time without Paul.
Yep. I think they go from 50. What they have 51 wins last year, and this I'm going to say
I think they'll be around the 40 win mark. They'll be right down Sacramento,
around 37, 38.
And you don't have a established point guard too. You traded Jamal
like
Crawford.
You said, they give up both of their guards.
And I mean, it's not like both those guards were bad. Both of those guards were good. Jamal Crawford, probably the best 6 men in the last 15 years.
Jamal Crawford can shoot.
Did you
when he comes off the bench, he can score.
Bryce Johnson.
Yeah, I saw that last night.
Yeah, I did too.
Dunked on Lonzo Ball last night. I went by him. He didn't really dunk on him. He didn't have a chance.
Welcome to the NBA.
I know, right?
I mean, let's see. You should like the Clippers summer league team. They got they got Kendall Marshall, Bryce Johnson.
I was hoping Blake got traded because so Bryce could get playing time.
Well, he was hurt the whole year last year.
We'll just wait for Blake to sprain his ankle in the 3rd week and sit out for a month, and then Bryce will get 20 points a game. We'll get taken care of.
Yeah, but it'd be Bryce Johnson starting his first year this year, so he'll be in. I mean, I don't think he'll win rookie of the year with this class, but
No.
Do you not think that this is all going to come down like Charlotte? And I hate to say that, smoke against the Hornets, but Michael Jordan's out here trying to build a winner. And, I mean, I know he does. And I guess here's what I think about. Michael wants a winner to be in the playoffs, and I think he wouldn't mind winning a championship. but he never wants to build a winner that does better than what he did as being an owner.
Why would you?
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I hate to say it that way.
Well, he ain't won one yet. He ain't won a playoff series yet.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Series yet. He can start worrying about being
and
better as a
Magic,
player.
Magic is going to be the same way with the
Lakers. They should have won a playoff series 2 years ago against the Heat. They had that in their palm of their hands, and they let it slip. But no, I don't think it. I think part of the problem is he's let a lot of his friends, Buzz Peterson, in the front office.
Buzz Peterson, he just got hired, Smoke. How can you criticize somebody who ain't even worked
He's been in the front office for the last 5 years.
What did they just hire him to do?
Assistant GM. I'm really scared of the things.
It's Buzz Peterson's fault the Charlotte Hornets aren't any good.
No, I'm just saying I don't like that Jordan's hiring guys like Rob Higgins and Buzz Peterson, inexperienced. Eventually you're going to have to go. Someone said it best. In the last 15 years, you've only made 3 playoff appearances, and you're still hiring guys from within. The thing that really hurts you. And plus, it's not like he was the most successful college coach.
Who should he have hired, Smoke, besides Buzz Peterson? Name me one person. I just want to name me one person.
I don't know, but I just don't.
I want to know how many
like
points. How many points they got last year.
That's the one stigma, though, that I don't like about Jordan is that he hires his friends. That's really hurt, like Rod Higgins and all that stuff.
So hiring Buzz Peterson is hurting the Hornets. Tell me how. Tell me how. I just want an example of by hiring Buzz Peterson. Why are they going to lose less games next year?
Hiring a guy that's inexperienced in the front office, it's kind of scaring me because he's just one spot away from being the GM. And if you fire Cho, he's probably going to be hired as GM. And just Jordan has put himself around all of his friends, and it's hurt. You look at those late 2000s, and that's what scares me.
The thing that I always think about.
What the Hornets have ever done, Smoke, how can you say he's hurt the Hornets? What have the Hornets ever done in the history of basketball that makes you say Michael Jordan has hurt the Hornets besides beating him when he was with the Bulls? He hasn't hurt He got the Hornets' name back. He bought the team. Just because he hired this guy, what is Buzz Peterson going to do to this team today when he walks in that's going to make them worse? Is he going to show? Is he going to tell everybody to shoot like MKG?
No, not right now. But I'm just
Cho's made one move that we think is good, and we don't even know if it's good yet. Right? How many years has he been there? He's not Michael's friend.
I know, but he's done a pretty good job, I think. And
up until the Dwight Howard trade, you would not have said that.
It's been an up and down
it.
time, but it's definitely been better than what it has been the last 15 years with Rich Cho as GM. I'm just saying, it's kind of just got me concerned that if you let go of him, you get Buzz Peterson, who, as a coach and as a front office guy, struggled. You look at his career at UNC Wilmington, he really stunk up the joint. And then Kevin Keats got there and cleaned the program up and got it to where it is now, and that's how he got the NC State job.
Well, the only thing I ever say about when you hire somebody, you got to say in time, but I always have this up in my room. The best person in any job that they've ever done was once a beginner. So Buzz, this is his opportunity. I mean, I don't see anything that he's done lately that's cost the Hornets anything.
Well, okay, let's talk about this real quick. We're about to take a break. Buzz Peterson or Phil Jackson, who would you rather have running anything with basketball? Smoke, are you even thinking about this? It's Phil Jackson.
Well, what do you mean
anything?
No.
Coach?
Anything.
No.
Basketball.
No, here's my deal with that, and I'm going to speak for him. If it's Phil Jackson, I want you as my head coach.
I know that.
We said anything in basketball.
Yeah.
Between the two, who would you rather have as a basketball coach, Phil Jackson or Buzz Peterson?
Phil Jackson.
Okay, who would you rather have pick basketball players to be on your team, Phil Jackson or Buzz Peterson?
You don't know because neither one of them's done it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Phil took Chris Epps.
Time out.
Yeah.
Okay, at that point, so you have to rely on what? You just went and said, you just made the point that Buzz Peterson wasn't good at Wilmington, and I can't make the point that Phil Jackson won 11 championships, and that makes him better qualified to be a GM than Buzz Peterson?
It does not.
Yes, it does. Terry.
He is a great coach, but when you put him in that front office, look what he's done to the New York Knicks.
Time out. How many championships has the Knicks won before Phil Jackson got there? How many championships? 0. So what did Phil mess up? What did he mess up? Somebody tell me what he messed up.
He's not the main problem. He's not the main problem there. It's James Dolan.
I know that. Okay, but what did Phil do that was so bad? Everybody, we all talk about, I'm not defending Phil and saying he was great. What I'm saying was, what could he have done that would have made the Knicks a better team and made the playoffs? Carmelo's supposed to be the best player on that team, right?
That's the first guy he should have got rid of.
Okay, then. Well, if that's the only thing you should have done was get rid of Carmelo, then you can't complain about trying to help Carmelo when he keeps him.
I think
he put all kinds of pieces around him to make the playoffs. It's not Phil Jackson's job Joakim Noah got bad. It's not Phil Jackson's fault that Derrick Rose and the rest of them didn't show up to make the playoffs. All they had to do was make. Was they ever going to beat the Cavs? So what are we mad about Phil ruining the Knicks? He couldn't have ruined something that's already bad. Buzz Peterson can't ruin the Hornets when they've never won anything. There's nothing that Buzz Peterson can do bad that's going to I don't see there's anything in the world a front office person can come in and do that would make the team worse than what it is. That just don't make sense to me. And the whole Phil Jackson thing, he is definitely qualified to be the GM. How is Chauncey Billups qualified to be a GM? Nobody's talking about. Everybody's saying that's probably a good move. What did he do?
I don't know.
He played basketball. What did Jason Kidd ever do to be a head coach? He's never had head coaching experience. So like Terry said, you get a chance to do something. Most people have never done what they get hired to do. So you're getting a chance to do something. Phil, if all these people I'm talking about in all the history of basketball, if I want someone to look at my basketball team and pick them up, I'm picking Phil Jackson.
It's one of two people, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but here's the problem that I have with that.
But Terry, he don't have a blank slate.
I know,
it's not like he can
don't.
just get whatever player he wants. It's not like this ain't fantasy basketball.
But here's the problem that I have. Okay. When he went there, he knew Carmelo was a problem. He should have taken him, and I know everybody in New York would have been mad for him to have got rid of him, but he should have stepped right in there, and that should have been one of his first options to get rid of. But now Carmelo had that thing. Yeah, he had the no trade thing, but he could decline it. But I would have continued, and that's what Phil, to me, kept trying to do, and then all of a sudden them people was like, well, this is not going to work. We're going to get rid of you.
Well,
why is everybody blaming Carmelo?
It's not.
What has he ever won besides the NCAA championship? Don't give me his gold medals. I want to hear that crap.
No.
But what has he ever done? I mean, I don't know.
The furthest he made was the Western Conference Finals with that Nuggets team. But, I think the problem with Phil was it's just he's trying to run the triangle in a day and age where the triangle isn't. It's more of a pace and space type of league now.
Well, we talked about that before. This whole thing, everybody can't be the Golden State Warriors, and that's I think that's what everybody's problem is. All right, Smoke. Everybody's talking about you can't run the triangle, right?
Well,
here's why. It's because the players don't want to run it.
Right.
If the players ran it, it would work, right? Wouldn't it, Terry? What did happen when Michael and Kobe ran the triangle?
Yeah. I mean, think about it.
What happened? That's 11 championships of running the triangle. Golden State has 2, and that's because they've got the greatest point guard shooting force the NBA has ever seen.
Well, yeah,
you can't guard somebody.
and then you hire guys like you trade for guys like Derrick Rose who don't fit your scheme whatsoever, and I think that was part of Phil's problem too. Was he was just signing guys that were names instead of signing guys to fit the offense.
But you can't. In Phil's defense, though, there's a salary cap.
Yeah,
There's only so many players, like the Hornets. Okay, who did they sign anybody this offseason?
Yeah, Michael Carter Williams.
Okay,
that's it.
So should we hate Cho because he didn't sign the best player? Who was all these free agents? Should we hate Cho because he couldn't get Gordon Hayward? That's how they're treating Phil because he couldn't get the big name. But the big name. There's only so many players that are free agents that they can go somewhere. There's 30 teams. One Gordon Hayward, right? So that means 29 GMs failed. This whole front office stuff, it's not the whole Buzz Peterson smoke. Buzz Peterson will never make a positive or negative impact on that team. He might as well be the hot dog vendor is what I'm trying to tell you about. So don't worry about Buzz Peterson. You should be worried about MKG's jump shot, how much they're playing Batum more than all these other stars in the NBA. You should worry about Dwight Howard's back and what they're going to do about
Kemba's knees.
So that's the things the Hornets need to worry about. Just Buzz Peterson. That ain't got nothing to do with be mad at the hot dog salesman for charging us too much. That's what I'm mad about. I don't want to pay any more $8 hot dogs. What about you? Is that
I'm
wrong?
Going to Cincinnati.
We're going to Atlanta. You can drive to Atlanta. Buy the hot dogs.
You get $1 hot dog, $1 drink.
How much they are in Cincinnati?
Yeah.
$1. All right, Smoke, we run way late over there real quick. Let's go take a quick break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. We still got NASCAR to talk about, Terry.
Do we do?
We've got racing tonight, right, Smoke? What time?
Major League Baseball.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. We got to talk about Terry's awesome Royals.
We're closing.
Cardinals stinking it up. NASCAR. It's Ricky Stenhouse. Got more kissing in Victory Lane.
This makes Danica very happy because she's getting to publicize by standing beside him.
But I was telling Smoke what's bad about Danica is every time she's got to go to Victory Lane to kiss on him, she's been out of the race so long, she's already out of her sponsor.
Yeah, sure is.
She's in a T-shirt and jeans. You thought it was just some random girl walking up. Oh, there's Danica. I was expecting her to come up in her fire suit or something. Maybe who's her sponsor now? Who their sponsor?
Well, they got back Nature's Bakery.
Maybe
changed.
Nature's Bakery don't want her kissing. What's Stenhouse's sponsor?
Let's see. The main one's either Fastenal or Fifth Third. He's gotten in the Victory Lane both times.
So they don't want their Nature's Bakery making out with Fifth Third. They're Victory Lane. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Maybe Junior can win something, Terry. We're closing it out, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll talk NASCAR, baseball. In a little NFL, got a little bit American Legion, got to cover back on that. All right, guys, we've had some fun tonight. We'll be back.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with Chris Jansen, whose life changed because of a song called Buy Me a Boat.
Buy Me a Boat hits, and it's like into the stratosphere. Things are amazing. #1 song, follow-up hits. Whoa, what happened?
That's Chris Jansen this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. Free in Uptown Shelby, Charlie Daniels at this year's 7th Inning Stretch Festival. This year's 7th Inning Stretch Festival will be Saturday, August 5th from 3 until 10 p.m. with Charlie Daniels taking the stage at 8:30. Also appearing Southern Experience and Dirty Grass Soul. For a full schedule of events, go to 7thinningstretch.cc. Don't miss Charlie Daniels in Uptown Shelby Saturday, August 5th for this year's 7th Inning Stretch Festival.
No doubt about it, when you go to the Parkway House in Cherryville, you'll come back, and you'll come back soon. Be sure to check out their daily breakfast and lunch specials. They're changing every day. All your breakfast favorites with down-home cooking, both for lunch and dinner. Bring the family out to the Parkway House Family Restaurant, 1011 East Church Street in Cherryville. Open Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. till 9:30 p.m. Saturdays, 7 till 10. Sundays, 7 till 9:30 p.m. The Parkway House in Cherryville.
Gain your independence from high car payments with a visit to Renato Cadillac Buick GMC in Shelby. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join the boss this Saturday, July 8th, as we broadcast live from Renato Cadillac Buick GMC in Shelby. We'll be there from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We'll have free hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. And register to win some great prizes, too. And while you're there, check out the great deals, like 0% APR financing for 72 months for qualified buyers on the 2017 Buick Envision Preferred and the 2017 Buick Enclave, plus a $1,250 purchase allowance. Come in for all the details. And that's not all. The 2017 Buick LaCrosse Essence is now 17% off. And the Slasher has been added again, slashing down the prices on pre-owned vehicles. So come join us this Saturday, July 8th, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Renato Cadillac Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall.
Check out what the Green Meadows Golf Club on Kelly Road in Mount Holly has to offer. On Wednesday, you can play all day for $28, including cart and green fee. And ladies, Wednesday is your day too. Ladies play and ride all day for only $15. To make your tee time, call the Green Meadows Golf Club at 704-827-9264. You'll love it. The Green Meadows Golf Club, located at 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Come see what they have to offer.
Honey, I am officially on break.
Huh?
This cold McDonald's McCafe drink is really chilling me out.
Oh, me too. I'm officially on break from worrying about the weird sound coming from the garbage disposal.
And I'm officially on break from having to think about cleaning out the garage.
You've been thinking about that for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's about time I had a break from thinking about it.
For a limited time, get every size soft drink or Mickey D's sweet tea for $1. Or a small McCafe frappe smoothie or shake for just $2. Prices and participation may vary. A la carte only.
CarQuest Auto Parts is the right place to find batteries for all your lawn and garden, marine, agricultural, and power sport needs. With well over 500,000 products available, you're sure to find exactly what you need at CarQuest Auto Parts. That's Eddie's Auto Parts, 2514 East Main Street in Lincoln.
When you want some help from a fellow car lover. It's all in one place, as you'll discover. Roll in to CarQuest and roll on.
Biscuit, 704-276-1155. I had egg and cheese this morning. Terry, what'd you have?
I had side order of liver mush and side order of bologna.
Side order? What is it? What was your main order?
No, that was my side. That's what I had.
You had 2 side orders?
That's it.
You got Terry's got 2 side chicks, not a real chick. Hey, he's a player, ain't he? Side biscuits. He's got side biscuits, Terry. No jokes, right, Smoke? No jokes. Don't make jokes.
Yeah. I guess it's a situation of, as my parents say, do as I say, not as I do.
I guess. All right, welcome back to Mitchem's Kids Sport Talk. Smoke, what'd you have for breakfast?
I had that sausage biscuit.
Give them a call today, 704-276-1155. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. My pen just fell through the hole. Looking out in Major League Baseball land, Red Sox are in first, Smoke, 4.5 game lead on the Yanks. Tampa's over 500, 5.5 ahead of them. Out in the Central, the Indians are in first. 1.5 back is Minnesota. Kansas City back at 2 games back. That's the only teams with winning records in the Central. Detroit and Chicago is on and out of it. Houston running away out west. 16.5 game lead out west. The Angels are in second, 2 games under 500. They got all their money's worth with old Pujols and Hamilton in the game.
Better be glad you have Trout.
Yeah, after the All-Star break, Houston's taking 3 weeks off.
When will the Yankees hit up the Angels for Trout, Smoke, and ruin your day?
Oh my gosh! Well, they're probably. Well, we got to remember next year both Bryce Harper and Manny Machado are in free agency, so they could go there. But I mean, that's possible because they could offer them a lot of prospects. And other than Trout, the Angels don't really have. Well, you got Pujols, but he's not Pujols of old. Other than
DH.
Trout. Yeah, you can put him in DH.
Pujols wouldn't be bad if he was getting paid $10 million.
Yeah, it's just
30.
you gave him that Alcatraz of a contract. Not as bad as the Hamilton one, but
he needs to find Dirk Nowitzki.
He actually averages about the same homers and RBIs as he always has.
I think his average is going
it's
down.
just batting average is going down because he's slow as it's his foot and knee problems and everything else. But for a $10 million player, he's not bad at all. But for 30. Kind of tough. Out in the National League East, the Nationals are in first place. Nobody else in the division with a winning record. The Brewers are in first in the Central. No one else in the Central has a winning record. The Chicago Cubs are at 500. Cardinals 4 games under 500. Out in the National League West, 3 teams over 500. The Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Rockies. So in the complete National League of 15 teams, only 5 teams have a winning record. How bad is baseball? 5 teams of 15 have a winning record, Terry.
Now, wait a minute. They're also hitting as many home runs as ever.
The most home runs ever,
and
only 5
records.
of the 15 have a winning record in the National League. That is awful.
And it's not like it's because the teams at the top of the National League are amazing. Like most of it's
There's
because
only 6 in the American League.
And most
11 teams in baseball have winning records. 1 at 500. The Cubs, the World Series champions, are at 500, and then 18 of the 30 Major League Baseball teams have losing records. Now think about that. 18 teams, all of them play 162 ball games. Think about how many ball games you're watching of bad losing baseball, and all that.
Well,
That's incredible.
Only 12 make the postseason, so it's not like the NBA where half the teams get in. But yeah, I think most of it's the teams that are rebuilding. Like you look at the NL East, the Braves are rebuilding right now, and you don't expect them to make it deep. But like if a team like the Mets is just where you had some of the best pitching in the league, and you
18 teams will play, Smoke. I did the math on it. 18 teams. Those 18 losing teams will play 162 games each this year. That's 2,916 bad baseball games you got to watch, or bad baseball teams you got to watch.
Yeah. And
3,000 bad. How does and then baseball and them in the NBA, the salaries just keep on going up and up and up and up. Them TV deals, nobody's in the stands, and the money keeps going up.
Well, that local TV really helps the MLB. That's what's really helping them right now. Not so much the national ratings.
11 winning teams. 12 teams make the playoffs.
So, well, the Cubs will get that last wild card spot.
3, 4, 5.
I just hope we never.
I
get
count
it where
7
you
on
start.
the way. 7 in the American League. Sorry,
I just hope we never get it like we're doing in the NFL, where you end up with losing records and making playoffs. You know what I'm saying? To me, if you got a losing record, they ought to cut it off and say eliminated.
Well, you got to remember, we're still
Cubs won't get that.
I know it's a long way.
We're still a good, couple weeks away from the All-Star or not the trade deadline. So that's when you'll see teams really make some moves, and that's when a lot of the teams will really start to improve. And so we still got. I mean, we're getting to that point now where it's make or break time, where you know which teams are which and which ones are the good ones.
Look at that National League standings for the wild card.
No one would have
saw
that.
2 teams above 500. The third team is the Cubs at 500, then everybody else has a losing record. The Braves are in the 4th spot with a losing record for a wild card spot. The Cardinals are in 5th with a losing record for a wild card spot. 6.5 games out, the Cubs are out of that final wild card spot.
But for the Braves, that's a good record.
Look at this.
Yeah,
from last year.
Well, yeah, for the Braves.
I mean, they're improving.
So look at this. Cubs. This is how bad it is in the National League. Cubs are 6.5 out, 500 in the National League. Right. That's the first place team out of a playoff spot. 6.5 out. Look at the American League. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams are within 6.5 games of that spot, Terry. And then the last 2 are only 7.5. So the whole American League is in a better spot to make the basically the whole American League is in contention for a wild card spot if the Cubs are.
Well,
if you think the Cubs are in contention for a wild card spot, that means everybody in the American League still is, but only the Cubs in the National League. That's how bad it is in the National League.
Well, and then you look at the Diamondbacks, the first team in the wild card spot. They are 19 games above 500, and you look at the Yankees, who are in the first spot of the wild card in the AL. They're only 4 games above 500. So I think that plays a big factor as well with all these teams at 500 or below. Rockies, 3 games, they got that second wild card spot. Who would have thought the Diamondbacks would be this well this late into the year? That's what I know they got one of the best first basemen in the majors, but I didn't expect him after the disappointment. Well, yeah, that home record helps.
At home, they're 33-13. They got a losing record on the road. That's unbelievable at home. 33-13.
And the Rockies are pretty good at home too. But Cubs, they've. I think just got to, in that hangover, that usually happens to the losing team. But when you have your catcher badmouth and your ace, and then you move him to the minors, Kyle Schwarber, who you're expecting a lot out of this year, you had to move him to AAA just because he was struggling so much at the plate. You got a lot of things that you just expected you were automatically going to make the playoffs, but instead you're fighting, and unless the Brewers slow down like people would, because people didn't expect them to be this good. Who knows? They might miss it.
Well, I mean, the Cubs going to have to speed up. You got to quit worrying about the Brewers slowing down and coming back to you. Cardinals won a World Series with one of the worst teams they've ever had with 83 wins 1 year, and you come up and you can't just hope you get in the playoffs at 83 wins. Just look at the run differential in the National League. Top 2 teams, Diamondbacks and Rockies, plus 33, plus 110, and then you look at everyone else. Cubs plus 13, that gives you hope that they got a chance. Braves minus 52, guys. That's not good.
Yeah.
Cardinals are at plus 4, so they're staying about even right now. Then the Mets, Pirates, 40, 38, 22. Padres minus 123.
Oh my gosh.
Way out. That's just pretty bad. American League, though, there's only the Twins are sitting there in that spot, Terry, and they got minus 50 run differential. You guys are sitting back minus 21. Tampa's at plus 13, and Texas sitting back at plus 29. So who do you think in there in the American League? Can the Royals pull it off? They got a chance. Everybody in the American League seems like it's got a chance, Terry. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I do. I think Kansas City is finally starting to hit the ball, and being able, their starting pitching is fantastic. That's kept them in their games all year long, and now they're starting to hit. Mike Moustakas has made the All-Star game as one of the last people voted in, and should have been, to me, a starter. But now that's just my opinion. But Smoke don't seem to agree with that.
Well, he beat Alexander Bogaerts, so that's why. But he deserves it.
But as far as everything else, I think it's I still think Cleveland and the Yankees will be your All-Star game. I think Kansas City going to win the division.
I think the Yankees, whoever finishes second in the AL East, will obviously get the first wild card spot. You know, because Yankees have one of the best young, big bats in the league with guys like Aaron Judge.
He has hit more home runs his rookie year than anyone else in Yankee history, and it's already at the All-Star break. Mark McGwire hit 49. That's the rookie record.
He's 19 away from it.
Yeah.
He's 19 away from tying it. But yeah, I mean,
but remember, how old is he? Ain't he like 28 years old?
He's 25, 26,
He's not like a rookie.
No.
He's
only like
all of a sudden he's
6'8", 280.
I mean, why did it take him so long to get to the to get to the majors is what I want to know.
Maybe
all of a sudden we're breaking rookie records and home run hits.
Last year he struggled
when
at
the ball
plate.
starts flying out at an all-time record, Terry.
Yeah, people weren't expecting him to be the one to really have the hot bat because he was struggling when he got called up last year with the Yankees. So I don't know what was the main reason he stayed down there, but man, he's having one of the best breakout seasons a player could have.
All right, we're going to go through the rosters and stuff real quick for the All-Star this weekend. First base, American League, Justin Smoke of the Toronto Blue Jays making his first appearance. He'll be the first Blue Jays player to start at first base since Carlos Delgado.
Wow.
In 2003. Second base, Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros. This is his fourth appearance. Altuve ties Lance Berkman for the second most appearances in franchise history with 4. Craig Biggio made the most at 7.
Hadn't he got some kind of a record going now? He's had like 4 straight games with at least 3 hits.
Wouldn't surprise me with the way he's at the plate. He's really good. So he's one of the best players in Houston's done it the right way, just building up through the draft.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Shortstop for the American League, Houston Astros, Carlos Correa making his first appearance at 22 years old, be the second player in Astros history to start an All-Star game before his 23rd birthday. Cesar Cedeno in 1973. For you old Houston Astros fans might remember that. Third base, Cleveland Indians, Jose Ramirez making his first appearance. First third baseman from the Indians since Travis Fryman in 2000. Catcher, Salvador Perez for the Kansas City Royals. Terry?
He deserves to be there.
To
me, he's one of the premier catchers besides Molina.
This is his 4th straight start as a catcher, making him the first AL catcher to start 4 consecutive games since Pudge, Gastonia Rangers, Rodriguez. All other Royals catchers have combined for 1 All-Star start. You know what it was, Terry, without looking over there?
No.
Darryl Porter. Wasn't he a Cardinal?
Think of that. Darryl Porter.
Wasn't he a Cardinal?
I don't know, was he? Probably don't remember them days.
Perez and George Brett are the only Royals to start consecutive All-Star games. Outfielder, Aaron Judge from the Yankees, of course. We already talked a little bit about him. Mookie Betts of the Boston Red Sox replaces Mike Trout in the starting lineup. Betts, starter for the American League. This will be the 2nd straight year Betts starts in the All-Star game.
He's one of the only guys to also have more walks than hits, I believe, or strikeouts, one of the two. So he's up there in elite class, very patient at the plate, and he's basically taken over as the face of the franchise.
Another outfielder, George Springer of the Houston Astros, making his first. A lot of first appearances on this American League. Wow. A designated hitter first appearance. Corey Dickerson of the Tampa Bay Rays. Previous Rays were David Price, Carl Crawford, and Evan Longoria. Pitchers for the American League, Chris Sale, Dallas Keuchel, Irvin Santana, Jason Vargas, Luis Severino, Yu Darvish, Michael Fulmer, Corey Kluber, Lance McCullers Jr., Craig Kimbrell, Andrew Miller, Dylan Betances, Chris Archer, Chris Stavinsky, Brandon Kinsler, and Roberto Osuna. AL Reserves, Gary Sanchez, Yonder Alonso, Starlin Castro, Jonathan Shoup, Robinson Cano, Miguel Sano, Mike Moustakas, Francisco Lindor, Avisel Garcia, Michael Brantley, Justin Upton, and Nelson Cruz. Of all those bench players, Nelson Cruz, Robinson Cano are the only 2 players that could walk in this room right now, and I would know who they are.
Yeah, a couple of those guys like Yonder Alonso, Miguel Sano specifically are up and coming guys.
These people.
Miguel Sano is going to be a pretty big name.
I feel like I'm reading an American League lineup from a team I've never been to or heard of before. I don't know any of these people.
It's a different era now. We're getting to that stage where a lot of
everybody's hitting more home runs than Willie Mays and McGuire and Bonds, and never heard of any of these jokers. That's just what's going on, Terry. This ball, I really do. There's something up with that ball. National League starters: Ryan Zimmerman, Washington Nationals. Zimmerman's first All-Star start, believe it or not.
first appearance since 2009. It's been he's kind of been quiet on that national scene, but he's broken out this year and had a resurrection.
First Nationals Expos player to start at first base since Al Oliver in 1983. Second base, Daniel Murphy of the Nationals. 8 different National League second basemen have started an All-Star game in the past 8 seasons. Before that, Chase Utley had 4 straight. So next year, get you a new second baseman, he'll be an All-Star. Zach Cozart, the Cincinnati Reds, making his first appearance. First appearance for the Reds shortstop since Barry Larkin back in 2000. Nolan Arenado of the Colorado Rockies, his second All-Star appearance. Catcher Buster Posey of the San Francisco Giants. He's got 4. He'll be making his fourth start. That's the franchise record for most starts by a catcher. Willie Mays had 17. Barry Bonds, 11. Orlando Cepeda, he's a Cardinal, had 6. Johnny Mize, 5. Will Clark, 4. Mel Ott and Willie McCovey with 4 of the other Giants players with multiple All-Stars. Bryce Harper, Atlanta Braves' favorite son, right? Atlanta Braves fans, y'all love some Bryce Harper, don't you? He's got 4 All-Stars appearance, and he takes sole possession of the franchise record for most starts by an
Does that
outfielder.
include the Expos, I take it? Okay.
Outfielder Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies make his second All-Star appearance. Blackmon joined Carlos Gonzalez, Matt Holliday, Larry Walker, and Dante Bichette are the only Rockies to start in the outfield. Marcell Ozuna of the Miami Marlins. He'll be the second consecutive start in this outfield. He's the only Marlins player to start an All-Star game in an outfield. There you go. National League pitchers Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, Robbie Ray, Zach Greinke, Carlos Martinez, Steven Strasburg, Kenley Jansen, Greg Holland, Wade Davis, Brad Hand, Corey Nebel, Pat Neshek, and Alex Wood. National League Reserves, Yadier is doing the backup catching. Paul Goldschmidt at first base, Arizona. Joey Votto, DJ LeMahieu. Good grief. That is not how you spell Mayu. Especially if you're from around here, you know how to spell Mayu. Josh Harrison, Jake Lamb, Justin Turner, Corey Sager, Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton, Michael Conforto, and Ender Inciarte. That's the Rays. Is that their one All-Star?
Yeah.
Is that still the rule now in baseball? Everybody gets one?
Yeah.
I know it used to.
Because I remember 2 years ago, Brock Holt out of the Red Sox got an All-Star appearance. That's the only one he's going to get.
Cardinals got Yadier and Carlos Martinez. If they both play, I hope they get to pitch to each other. I hope Carlos gets to pitch to Yadier. Yadier's had, I think, 2 or 3 14 or 15 game hitting streaks this year alone. He gets about 15 games in a row, then gets out a couple games.
And so got some local talent in the All-Star game. Alex Wood probably going to start for the National League. He's a Charlotte native. Of course, Corey Seager, his family, all from Charlotte. A lot of his brothers playing, one for the Manners. He is going to be in the All-Star game, so got some local flair in the MLB All-Star game this year.
All right, guys, time for another break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Got to talk NASCAR, American Legion. Got to get that settled. Second round is underway. Cherville and Shelby both with 2-0 leads right now. They'll be facing, if they go on to win, the winners of the Gaston Braves and Mint Hill matchup and Union County and Asheville matchup. Union County winner, of course, would face they've won the first 2 games. They're up 2-0 in that series, so they would be facing Shelby. And, of course, Cherville winner will be getting either the Gaston Braves or Mint Hill. Mint Hill won the first one in Game 1, Gaston Braves in Games 2. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll talk all the specifics about that and more on KTCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with Chris Jansen, whose life changed because of a song called Buy Me a Boat.
Buy Me a Boat hits, and it's like into the stratosphere. Things are amazing. #1 song, follow-up hits. Whoa, what happened?
That's Chris Jansen this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. The RVer's most trusted resource for over 50 years. That's Campers Inn. Family owned and operated since 1966. And this area's dealer is Campers Inn in Kings Mountain. Campers Inn is the nation's largest family-operated RV dealership, 16 locations up and down the East Coast. From motorhomes to travel trailers and more, from the industry's leading manufacturers, plus award-winning RV sales and service. See hundreds of RVs for the best prices, plus they have certified and trained service personnel and a professional staff with years of RV knowledge. Campers Inn, Highway 161 South at I-85 in Kings Mountain. Tell them Calvin sent you in to the Campers Inn.
It's time to play at the Kings Mountain Country Club. Play and ride on the new cart paths. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Seniors 55 and older can ride and play 18 holes Monday through Friday for just $24. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for just $37. For tee times, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club, located on 109 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain.
Is that Alan Jackson?
That's the Zach Brown Band.
I was going to guess something with Chris Cornell.
Yeah, that's Chris Cornell 2 years ago.
So that's not Zach Brown.
Yes, it is.
Who's singing, Smoke?
It's Zach Brown Band featuring Chris Cornell.
So I was right. It's Chris Cornell.
We're both right.
I don't care who's playing the guitars and the stuff. It's, you know, you can say whoever, you can say Barney's back there playing the band. It's Chris. That's Chris Cornell.
It's Zach Brown Band featuring Chris Cornell.
My goodness, I despise
their album.
Wait a minute. That is Chris Cornell featuring Zach Brown's band.
No, it's on the Zach Brown Band's album that came out 2 years ago.
I know that's how they want to say it, but I'm telling you what it is.
Okay.
How can they claim the song when he's singing it?
Zach
see
Brown sings most of the song.
You don't see Elvis singing, you know. Almighty, that's silly.
I despise Taz.
How can you claim someone else? This is Metallica featuring John Lennon. I mean, who gets credit for that?
The one that's on their album.
The people playing the guitar, not the guy singing it.
It's whoever's album it is.
That's fun. All right, welcome back to Sports Talk. Chris Cornell and the gang. That's what happens. You can't. We got Smoke in there mashing buttons. I swear. Anyway, that's fun times. Hasta Luis. He's got his Poppy shirt on. He's ready to rock. The Boston Red Sox are retired. Poppy's retired. Smoke.
Yeah.
He's eating tacos right now.
You could have
got him a free seat.
He's speaking perfect English. Him and Sammy Sosa speak perfect English
He's
until somebody
them,
says the word steroids. And
he's eating them hot
like
dogs everybody else is paying for.
You know, Itro actually speaks perfect English. He just never lets the media know.
They do until someone says the word steroids. I mean, for how many years did Sosa do interviews? I mean, baseball was very, very good to him, wasn't it, Terry?
It was.
And then all of a sudden, Congress says, well, "So tell us about your steroids." I don't speak English well. That was his response. Steroids. I don't speak English.
Another former Gastonia Ranger.
Yeah. Sammy Sosa was a Gastonia Ranger. Pudge Rodriguez hit me in the head with a bat. So let's talk about American Legion baseball. Semifinals start July 12th to the 16th. They're coming up this week. The finals will be a one-game final because both of those teams make it to the state. And so there'll be a one-game playoff to see who the Area 4 champion win is, and that'll determine who you match up with when you go to the state. So you know this is a crucial series, and of course the next week is the most crucial series. But you got to get to next week before you get to this week. Shelby right now they're up 2 games to nothing over Taylorsville. They won in 11 innings in game 1, 8-5. Won last night 9-4. They'll play again tonight at Grider Stadium at Alexander Central High School, 7 o'clock. We'll have coverage of that on WHS 101.5 FM, 1390 AM, Taylorsville, and Shelby at Taylorsville. So listen to that on the FM. If you're out of the area, the radio listening area, folks, you can always listen to all of our games on streams online, KTCBroadcasting.com. Download the Ustream app if you got your tablet and phone out with you out and about. You probably get it on there. That'll be the best way to listen to it. Ustream, the letter U, then STREAM. Download that today. Listen to us there. Also tonight, Cherville Post 100 at home tonight, Fraley Field. They're also up 2-0 in the series, guys. 10-5, 6-2 on Gastonia. As tonight will be at Fraley. Looking across the other ones, Gaston Braves and Mint Hill are tied 1-1. Right now they play tonight at Belmont Abbey. And Union County is up 2-0 on Asheville. 9-3, 12-6 wins. Union County only lost 2 games on the season. Asheville 11-10 overall coming into the playoffs. Now, looking at that series, that they will play the winner of the Shelby series. So if Shelby and Union County both win tonight, they'll be playing each other starting the 12th.
That should be an interesting series, to say the least, because Union County has been so dominant on that eastern side. And, Shelby's been good, but the concern for me is they don't have that much depth, especially compared to a team like, say, Cherville. They've gotten as low as 11 people on the team at one point, because most of the guys out there are Crest, and I think that's really why they have been so good this year. Is because
what's really interesting about that, Smoke, is Union County. Where do they play?
They play they play at Marvin Ridge now. Yeah, they just started that this year.
Who did Crest play in the playoffs to get to the state championship for the past 2 years? Marvin Ridge. So high school baseball has come back right here, where we may be looking at another rematch to go to the state championship again. Both teams trying to get in the state tournament, but instead of high school, it'll be American Legion. And so what type of these guys know each other? It'll be fun times.
Well, and it's not like it's just this year. Remember, 2 years ago we had to go to Marvin Ridge to do the Western Finals game too. So these two, the Crest and Marvin Ridge, are very familiar with one another.
Marvin Ridge won the first matchup. Crest won it this year, and now they're might be playing each other in American Legion baseball. Same fields. They won't be playing at Crest High School. Marvin Ridge will have to come to the big field, Veterans Field, Keeter Stadium over here in Shelby Town for the big matchup. But that's exactly what that is, Terry. That those teams know each other very well. They'll be matched up. If Cherville wins, they've been put out the last 2 years by the Braves.
2 or 3 years, yeah.
So they could be facing their nemesis here the last few years, the Gaston Braves. If the Braves can pull it off right now, Braves are the two seed, Mint Hill the 6 seed. Mint Hill has a losing record. But they're 1-1 right now after 2 games.
Yeah, they're a Jekyll and Hyde team. I saw them at the beginning of the year. They got off to a hot start, and then they really got cold when I saw them the second time against Lincoln County. They're either really on or they're really off, and it's been a little bit of both. But the playoffs, they upset Caldwell County. That was a very big upset in the first round, and they're giving Gaston a run for their money right now. That's a very tough Gaston Braves team. That if that's the one team I could see right now beating Cherville in this playoff bracket for sure, either them or Union County or maybe even Shelby, but I think they would have the best shot. I mean, they've beat them the last 2 or 3 years, and right now Gaston Braves have got some of the best power hitting on their team.
Well, we got the state championship this year is at Pitt Community College. Looking at these games, we'd love to have Shelby and Cherville down there at the same time in the state championship. We got a chance in our coverage area. The bad thing is, back down Marvin Ridge, they ain't got a press box. So if it does any type of raining or any type of anything like that, we've got the Andy and the gang going to have to scramble. So don't know exactly what the plans are on that. Maybe they can. They don't even have a tent or anything out there, Terry. It's just well. We hope the Legion will provide us a table. We might have to bring our own table, too, because they had to pull their table out of the storage building and wipe the dirt off of it for the high school teams covered in dirt. And like, here you go. We can all clean it off or something. They pulled it straight out of the storage building. After we'd got there, after we'd called and told them we was coming, they said, we have a table for you. But what they got is they got a little table over there next to the dugout, and we sat on the other side, almost right behind home plate. You're actually almost sitting... The way they've got it, it's kind of like if you're familiar with Sims Park, the field is above everything else, and it's almost like a drop-off. We were sitting below the pitches, so we could see the breaking balls like excellent. Like anytime it was a change-up or anything else, you could see the balls just drop. We were about head high where the balls are coming across the plate. But it'll be interesting to broadcast from down there. But the series, I think... Write it down. If they're playing 5, I would say that series is going to go 5. I mean, those teams have battled so hard these past 2 years. Andy and the gang can attest to it.
But I will say there is a bigger difference between the high school and the Legion, because we saw it, Kevin, with Lincoln County and Asheville. These pitch counts have really affected some of these series. Because if Asheville could have used Jack Ponder all 3 of those games, they probably would have swept Lincoln County, but they had to use position players.
Do you not think that's where Cherville is like a step above everybody because they're so deep in pitching?
Yeah, that's probably what's really helping them right now.
Well, one thing that helps them as far as that pitching goes, Terry, is that they do get to pull from multiple schools, and that means multiple aces, multiple good pitchers. Agree. So if you're playing, if you're at one of these other schools, they got more kids to choose from. That's how it's supposed to work, is the number of kids you choose from and everything. But the thing about it is, you can only put one pitcher on the mound, right?
Yeah.
I can't put just if I have 5 pitchers, I can only throw one. But what Cherville's done, they're pulling from. You got Burns, Lincoln, and West Lincoln, Cherville, and Bedford City. If
I just think
they're 5 schools they could pull.
Yeah,
from.
and I just think their best option is it's like if one of them gets in trouble, you just go get another ace. If he gets in trouble, you just get another ace.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You got the two best pitchers from West Lincoln, and even though West Lincoln struggled this year, they had some very good pitching.
Oh, yes, they did.
And then you get Robbie Cowie, who I think is hurt right now, but he was really good at pitching too. He struck out 14 in one game for Lincolnton.
I think we found out, Smoke, with this pitching thing you're talking about, is that where it really comes into effect. And when you make a rule, it's hard to come up with every scenario how it's going to affect it. But I'm pretty sure they didn't think about how the rainouts and stuff are going to affect this. So Lincoln County in the first game, both pitchers went over the 30 count mark, right?
Yes.
So the pitchers couldn't come back. The very next day, in the same game, they couldn't pitch anymore. So now you're in the same game, and your plan for your pitching has just totally changed because this pitcher you thought might go 6-7 innings, he wasn't going to pitch today anyway. So you only got 3 innings out of him, and now you're playing 10 innings without your best pitcher, who still could have had 4 to 8, 4 to 5, 6 more innings.
And then you look at a Lincoln County team who's not that strong at pitching compared to like a Cherville.
Well, Asheville, like Smoke said, the Ponder kid. If they could have started him game 1 and 3, that's lights out
done.
in those two,
it's
right?
done because he struck out 25 in just about 9 or 10 innings of work. That's how he only gave up 1 hit.
Well, the first kid for Asheville come in, and we saw him later in the series. He was throwing heat. I mean, he didn't have, he wasn't, throwing nasty breaking balls.
He walked a lot of batters.
He walked a lot.
Yeah, but he didn't give up that many runs.
But that the whole pitching rules change is this whole pitch count thing, man. I see that being more of a problem than I is fixing whatever problem that pitching was supposed to have. In American Legion playing every day, Terry, you're raining out, your things are changing. Like I said, in high school you got 2 games a week. You can kind of maybe adjust for that. But in this Legion everyday thing, and you got pitch counts to worry about. So you're sitting there, what do you do as a coach? You're looking out on the mound. Well, this guy's got 10 more pitches or he can't pitch tomorrow. Should I stay with him and hope we get the next 2 outs? Do I put in another guy and get 2 outs here and then have him for tomorrow? I mean, isn't that just that's putting it to where the coaches aren't thinking about what's best for their team now, right? You can't think about what's best for your team as far as let's say I got Chris Mason out there, right? You got 30 pitches. What if I just want to pitch him the 29 today or 29 more? Does it work out like that? Or what do you get in a situation, Terry, where you brought in a reliever, hoping to just get 1 inning? Okay, he's walked 2 batters, and now you're getting to that 30 pitch count. Okay, do you go ahead and just take him out and bring someone else in, or do you hope he gets that out and finishes the game in the last 2 innings? Because as a normal coach, you say I'm going to leave him in. He'll get it settled. We'll fix it in the next 2 innings. But then if you're thinking about pitch counts, well, I might need him tomorrow. Because this other kid, I can bring him in now, maybe win the game with this guy instead of this. Now the pitch counts are making the pitching decisions, and I don't like that. You see what I mean?
And
I'm gonna let Terry go.
Okay. No, go ahead, Smoke.
Well, I think it works better in high school when, as you said, Kevin, you only play 2-3 games at the most in a week, and you don't play back-to-back hardly ever unless it's a tournament. You look at American Legion Baseball, it got to the point in the Lincoln County series where they're having to use Hunter White as a pitcher who, by the way, hasn't pitched. The last time he pitched, he was playing kid pitch. So it was at least 10 years.
They're throwing people out there that ain't even pitched.
But is it not a great scenario for Cherryville? When you're that deep, that's what I'm saying. And see, I have been to places where, and it goes all the way back to softball also, to where you've had so many pitching depth on your team. Like we would come and we go, okay, we got 4 pitchers. Well, then we're playing somebody like Burgaw, and they say, well, we got 9. Because most of your pitchers, most of the time, they are your shortstops. Or true center fielders. Catchers, that's what I'm saying. Those are what these guys are. So, I mean, if you're so deep in pitching-wise, then it never bothers you. But, I mean, it's got benefits and doubts. If you don't have that much pitching and this guy cannot do anything else and that's all he does, then I think you're hurt.
But it's aggravating as a coach where you used to be like, you making pitching changes and moves based on how you feel and how the game's going, and not by, man, I hope he gets this out before the next 3 pitches are over. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get these pitches in. I mean, I know you're on the edge of everything, but these guys, as a coach, do you start taking kids that can instead of taking the kid that's never pitched, Smoke? What if they say to him now, like, what if Bullock's in a situation where I can keep him on the team who's never pitched, or I can get another kid that's never pitched, but he can't hit worth a lick. But I'm going to need that pitching. I'm going to need this kid to come in for 1 inning in a state championship game and get round 3.
And he's going to pull me out, yeah.
Well,
over pitching counts. See, the pitching counts for making decisions. I don't think that that's fair for the game. What it doesn't allow the team to put their best out there. Mm-hmm. And isn't that what, especially in the playoffs, that you want? You want your best player to be out there, best pitching. I mean, if I got Ralph Roberts or Chris Mason out there and the pitch limit's 100, and we're in the 7th inning and he gets to 98, and I got to take him out, and just because he can't go 5 more pitches, and he throw 8 pitches between every inning, do they count those? You get 8 pitches between every innings. So in a 9-inning game, that's 72 pitches. What if I say, I don't want to throw any pitches, Terry? Can you do that? Can you say, I don't want to throw any pitches between innings? Can I get 50 more pitches in the game? I mean, how is that? It's so arbitrary, the number of 100. Like I said, you get to 98 and you're taking an ace out.
Right.
And to do the last 2 batters because he can't throw 5 more pitches, which would take 2 pitches to get somebody out if they popped it up or struck out. It's tough. It's really tough.
I'll say this: if you want to have the player safety, rest the pitchers. At this point, you can't have a 5-game series anymore. You're going to have to move it to a best of 3, just so you can keep all these pitchers. Maybe have a day or 2 in between a game, or just get the 3-game series out of the way, best of 3, and then you get to the states quicker, and then it gives more time, I think, in between, the games to quickly get out of a series, not use as many pitchers, and I think it would keep things more competitive because you're like, all right, we already got our set amount of pitchers that we can use for most teams, because not every team's going to be a Cherville where you can use about 8 or 9 pitchers. I mean,
but it's a benefit.
Yeah.
It's a great benefit. I mean, to me, and I know Kevin says he does not like it. I like it. I like it because it's making you, as you're developing your team early, that you're out here trying to hunt some guys who can pitch, because you're going to have depth. And now, like I said, most of your pitchers who pitched in a regular season, when they're not pitching, then they are your shortstop, your center fielder, your catcher, etc.
I just think with these 5-game series are really taking a lot of toll on people, and these people sometimes having to pitch in 2 or 3 games at the most. It's just you're really putting the damage on their arms. And I know you got these pitch counts here, but still it's going to make things dangerous for these players pitching in 3 games and 3 days and 5 3 games and 5 you know what I mean. It's these are 18-year-old 19-year-old at the
and
oldest 17.
And your pitch count is what, Smoke?
It depends. It's at least 30 pitches, and you get 1 day's rest. You have to have 1 day's rest.
Okay, we're talking 30 pitches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're an elite athlete, don't you want to be on the mound? Yeah, give me my 30 pitches every day.
Yeah, I just think with a lot of teams, I think it would help, because I think there's only about 2 or 3 teams that would really have that deep of pitching like a Cherville. In this area, I think it would just be better to make it a best-of-3 series and then have the same dates for when the series starts. So, like we saw last week, the first time in history where all Area 4 games got rained out. If you only have a best-of-3 series, that would help you maybe have a different date, so you wouldn't have to play doubleheaders that much, and you could maybe make up a game and you'd still have time. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking more about the players' health and rest by having only a best-of-3 series instead of a best-of-5 series, because in Legion, it's going to take a lot out of you when you're playing 5 games in 5 straight days. You don't even have the break anymore.
What about this? They are talking about, Terry, even in Major League Baseball, one of the proposals, shortening the games to 7 innings. Does that fix some of that pitching thing? Especially these young guys like Smoke, instead of cutting it from 5 games to 3, instead of cutting from 5 games to 3 games, will that help go into 7 innings?
I don't think that's ever going to change. I mean, I think it's still going to
What
be
about Legion?
Legion
Yeah,
wise,
Major League probably
never.
No,
But if you're going Legion wise,
should Legion look into something like that?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Yes, because most of these guys.
The roster size used to be 20 players, didn't it, Terry?
And now it's about the 13, 14.
I mean, they're starting to get travel ball numbers on these rosters.
And you got to look at it too. In a 7-inning game, you only use your starting pitcher for about 4 or 5 innings. That's usually a good outing for a high school pitcher. And then you use about maybe 1 or 2 relievers at the most. And you got to look at this. Most of these guys are high schoolers. Only about you'll get a couple of guys that are in their first year of college, but I mean they're still incredibly young too. You don't want to just wear them out playing 20-something 9-inning games in a month, and then you just go full throttle for the next month, and then you have a short break, and then you go full throttle for 5 days.
Every day, 9 innings.
Yeah, it's just too much, I think, for that person that young.
It's tough. Some things to talk about, but nonetheless, we got games tonight. Time for another break. We'll be back. We're going to talk NASCAR. Kentucky this week. Who's on top? Who's ready to rock? Who's going to win? We've got it tonight on KTC.
Only got what? 10 races left.
10 races left to get in the chase. He'll win one during the chase after he already hadn't made it, Terry. We'll talk about that in just a few moments here on KTC Broadcasting, WLON and WCSL 59 AM. We'll be right.
Free in Uptown Shelby, Charlie Daniels at this year's 7th Inning Stretch Festival. This year's 7th Inning Stretch Festival will be Saturday, August 5th from 3 until 10 p.m. with Charlie Daniels taking the stage at 8:30. Also appearing Southern Experience and Dirty Grass Soul. For a full schedule of events, go to 7thinningstretch.cc. Don't miss Charlie Daniels in Uptown Shelby Saturday, August 5th for this year's 7th Inning Stretch Festival.
Head to the mountain, Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, that is, for a great golf outing. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $27. Seniors age 65 and older can play and ride Monday through Friday for $24. Play and ride weekends and holidays for $37. After 1 p.m., play and ride for $32. Make your tee time today at 704-734-0383 for the Crowder's Mountain Golf Course. Play at the mountain today.
The Orange Opportunity Sales Event is underway at Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Come in now and ask about 0% financing for 84 months on select Kubota tractors with a big 6-year warranty. Come on in for all the details, and don't miss it. The Orange Opportunity Sales Event underway now at Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive off the Oak Grove Road and Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. For excellence in funeral and cremation services, talk with Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Services in Cherryville, promoting the highest ethical and professional standards while maintaining cost-effective service. Call 704-435-6711 or come and talk with funeral directors John Porter and Hannah Garrett, offering you guidance during one of life's most difficult times. Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Service, 1100 East Main Street in Cherryville, a member of the National and North Carolina Funeral Directors Associations. Z-Max Racing Classics, Friday afternoons at 1 o'clock from the Performance Racing Network, right here on 1590 AM WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia.
Skies should vary between mostly sunny and partly cloudy as we head through the day. It'll be hot and humid, and we could see some scattered showers or gusty thunderstorms develop in the afternoon. We'll have highs around 87 to 93. Tonight, we may see an evening storm in a few spots, otherwise variably cloudy with lows in the mid-60s to around 70. And we should finish out the weekend Sunday with more sun than clouds overall, a little bit less humid. Highs tomorrow between 84 and 90. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big O Country Studios, it's 9:50.
Kids.
Biscuits, Kevin Hastings, Terry Reinhardt, Evan Smoke Ludwig out in the parking lot right now loading up some What's Up shoppers. He'll be back with us in just a few moments. Terry, it's NASCAR time tonight. WCSL 1590 AM. We've got Quaker Steak 400, 6:30 p.m. on WCSL 1590 AM. Out in Kentucky right now. pulling up the race stuff and everything as quick as I can. I'm trying to. Last week, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wins at Daytona. Terry, what about you? What about Dale Jr. last week, man?
Yeah, he's kind of struggling down here at the stretch. He's got to get a wind under him, and as everybody can see, if you're on YouTube or anything, that I've kicked the rest of them out and left the best-looking person in the show, so you can see me. But as far as the rest of them, I've got rid of them. But as far as Junior goes, he knows what he's got to do. I mean, he's down to his last 10 races to make the chase. He's got to win. I think that's the only opportunity he has to get in there. But, Ricky Stenhouse last week, amazing, because when we got to the end of the race, I was kind of amazed because how many top drivers were left at the end? Not many. We had a lot of newcomers that were there and a lot of newcomers that could have won. And, every week that we keep adding a new person to the list of winners, how many we got now, 12?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think 11, unless I counted wrong.
Okay, so, there you go. 11 different winners. You got 10 races left. These guys know that if they get a win, that assures them of being in. So
yeah, I've got 11 there, Terry. Look, just looking across at your standings, Larson, Truex, Kyle Busch is in third with no wins. Then Harvick's fourth with a win. Keselowski's fifth with 2. Chase Elliott is sixth with no wins. Jimmy Johnson seventh with 3. Jamie McMurray, Denny Hamlin, Clint Boyer, and Kenseth are 8 through 11 with no wins. Logano's got a win, but it don't count. He's in 12th. Then Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, and Ryan Newman and Stenhouse are 13 through 16 with wins. So Stenhouse pretty looking like a lock, Terry, to be in this chase, right?
Yes, he does. And congratulations to him. We always make fun of Danica, but she's getting her picture seen quite often as she is out there with him when they're doing everything and changing hats.
Isn't that the best sponsorship deal? You sign one driver, and every time that driver's boyfriend wins, they get to get on the sponsorships too.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a double sponsorship.
I know Smoke now's come back. He's a racing man, but Smoke, you got 10 races left. How many different winners, out of this final 10 do you think you're going to have?
See, we've already gotten into the double digits. I don't know if that's counting Logano, whose win was encumbered.
11 with Logano.
Yeah, 11 with Logano. Okay, so that's 10 that have already qualified. Logano's the first man out right now, which I wrote about in the article, that he's had 4 or 5 finishes outside of the top 20 since that win was encumbered. So he's really struggled at a pretty bad time. And, who knows, we could get to 16 or more than 16, which would be very interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe Ricky Stenhouse will be the first one out. I don't know how that situation would come because we've never had that. But we could get about 3 or 4 more, I think.
Did you like the way the race ended last week?
If they kick Stenhouse out, he's got 2 wins, and these guys get him with no wins.
Yeah. Well, that is if more than 16. I was wondering how that would play out. I think maybe since they put an emphasis on wins.
I doubt that will. I don't think that'll ever come up. Some of these guys got, it'd just be about amazing for the next 6 races to be 6 different people that haven't won.
Yeah.
What we have already. Looking at that, Smoke, I guess they won't put them in order based on how that goes. But what is it? Top 16 get in. As long as you won and you're in the top 30, you're in, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So everybody that has won is still in the top 30 then.
Yeah, and then you got some.
Dylan is the worst, and he's at 21.
Right.
So we were just talking about Stenhouse. We think Stenhouse is a lock now, being in 17th with 2 wins 16th. There. 16th with 2 wins there. So
that should lock him in, and he's coming off a career. He's had his career year. He's already matched the top 5s he had last year with 4.
Everybody with wins already in the top 16. So looking at that, so that means you've got Dylan will be the next one in, right? So Dylan has to kick somebody out. So that kicks out Matt Kenseth.
Or who's ever the first one in the top 6. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dang, I didn't know Kenseth's that high up.
Kenseth will be in 11th. He'll be out. So Kenseth, Boyer, Hamlin, and McMurray are the ones fighting for those last few
right now
spots.
it would be Logano because remember his win was
he's one spot back. That's right.
Yes.
So that's why Logano is.
Think
in
of the
spot.
guys
so
who
these 5 right there
are below.
Got the most pressure because anybody that wins behind them, Terry, takes one of those spots. So McMurray, Hamlin, Boyer, Kenseth, and Logano, you're on notice.
And you could put Chase Elliott into that mix, who's in 6 right now too.
Right.
Or even Kyle Busch, who still hasn't.
They're so far ahead, unless they just have 3 wrecks in the next 6 races from both of them.
Or like 6 drivers win.
Yeah, we're the craziness. I mean, for 6 drivers to win that haven't won, let's talk about that. These are the drivers that would have to win. Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Trevor Bayne, Casey Kane, Jr., Ty Dillon, Paul Menard, Michael McDowell, Busher, Allmendinger, Reagan, Patrick, and Almirola. Are we getting 6 different wins out of that group?
No. The best ones are probably the 2
worse,
rookies.
I'd say 2. I'd say at the most you get 2 out of those. If that happens, what do you think? 2 out of 6?
Possibility. I think when you look down there and you look at the guys who have it, you got to put Casey Kane in one of them. Daniel Suarez.
Junior's got to shoot a box. It's like it's the fighter's chance, right? They've got one shot. They got to win a race.
Trevor Bayne not racing bad. He'd be one.
Unfortunately,
if you don't think Junior's crew's going to cheat like hell one good time in these last few races to get in, y'all, you're thinking something wrong. They're about to be in every rule in the book these last few races. He's getting in.
If this becomes a fuel mileage race and Junior's still in the lead lap at this point, you got to.
What's he driving now? Chevy?
Yes.
Yeah. He'll be driving a Chevy Volt if they're going to ride and come the fuel mileage races. By God, he's going to be doing something different. He's getting in. They ain't going to not let him not get in, Terry. What do you think?
Probably have one of them electric charges.
I mean, something's going to get
extra fuel mileage.
Something's going to happen. I mean, he's sitting at 22nd right now. It's going to be hard to get up to 16th without winning a race as it is.
So, it's already over 100 points between him and Stenhouse.
So these guys are, like we said, you got 10 to 12 drivers here that have a chance to win a race to knock out Logano, Kenseth, Boyer, Hamlin, and McMurray.
But I'm also looking at it and you think of what races you got coming up. He could win at Michigan. He could win at Bristol, and he could win at Richmond for Junior. I mean, those are the ones I think he's got a shot at winning.
And his best chance just went out the window.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was going to be his chance there.
Because even at Indianapolis, he's about
he's not
8th to 12th place finish in that race most of the time.
Let's see. Kentucky, there's the next 2 weeks are fuel mileage races. So if he's in contention, if he's in a spot on the lead lap, and it becomes a fuel mileage race, go ahead and go for it. Because Kentucky's a fuel mileage race. At some points, it was last year. And New Hampshire's always been a fuel mileage race.
What's the last race?
Richmond.
Bristol. That's a playoff race, right? Bristol opens
Richmond is the last one.
Chicagoland opens it.
Chicagoland opens it?
Yeah, this will be the last year.
Why do they have that marked as a playoff race? That's crazy. So how many more races they got left?
Let's see. 1, 2,
10.
4. That's 8, I think.
I was thinking 6. Okay. Kentucky, New Hampshire, Indianapolis, Pocono, Watkins Glen, Michigan, Bristol, and then Darlington, and then Richmond's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So 9.
Chicagoland starts it.
So yeah, still 9 races. None of those tracks really would get me excited to have a chance if I was a Dale Jr. fan. Looking at it, I mean, if it Bristol maybe.
You can fight somebody at Bristol, you can get through there. That's
Michigan maybe, but. Let's see, Watkins Glen, he's never been a road course guy, really. Well, he's all right at Sonoma, but he's never been that good at Watkins Glen.
Darlington, he's not bad. But, I mean, he's not a winner.
Pocono, Indy, New Hampshire, Kentucky, Daytona. That's what we got. That's what we just got had Daytona. Kentucky this week, 7:30. Next week we'll be back to Sunday race in the next 4, 5, 6 weeks there before we get back to Bristol on Saturday night. Before the playoffs start, before that Darlington race. That's weird seeing Darlington back in September.
It's good. It's good though.
But as someone goes to the beach during the summer, you're thinking, when's that race? Is it race weekend this weekend when you're going through Darlington? You never know. In September now, it's going to be a little bit different for the folks down that way.
You mentioned Darlington. The throwback cars are coming back once again. It's now officially NASCAR Throwback Weekend. Richard Childress made an announcement there, bringing the Wrangler design car from the mid '80s for Dale Earnhardt for both Austin Dillon and Ryan Newman. Kevin Harvick's going to be driving an old version of a Busch car, not the one in the early '80s with Cale Yarborough, but not Cale. Who drove that Busch car? It was someone else, but it's not a car we've seen before. So it's a nice car, but as we'll really start to see the throwback cars come in the next few weeks.
All right, going to wrap it up real quick. Picks for this week in Kentucky.
Got Kyle Busch win his third race at Kentucky.
That's what I got.
Kyle Busch feeling Kyle Busch there. I was trying to pull up the starting grid, and I couldn't find it. But I'm going to go with. Is it Denny Hamlin that hadn't won yet?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Denny Hamlin. I don't even know where he's qualified. I'm going Denny Hamlin this week. And so y'all are getting me a guess without even knowing. All right, Steve, we're about done in here.
Well, Kyle's on the pole.
We've had a good week here. Why do you tell me that, Smoke? When I'm sitting there asking who's on the freaking pole. Now you want to say, well, Kyle's on the pole now. Idiot. I swear.
Well, just go on NASCAR's main page. You look at the starting lineup.
Well, I'm trying to, but time's running out, Smoke. The internet isn't as fast as time itself, okay? So anyway, let's see if Hamlin's in the top 10. I'm going to stay with him. Steve, just give me 30 seconds here while the internet catches up. We're about to send it out to Calvin and the gang out at Renato Automall today. Smoke real quick. Go over the schedule while the internet catches up.
All right,
for today's broadcast.
Today, starting at 3:50, we'll have Atlanta Braves baseball taking on the Washington Nationals. Then on WCSL tonight, WCSL will have the Quaker State 400 at Kentucky. On WLON only tonight will be Cherville Post 100 taking on Gastonia. And also on WOHS, it'll be Shelby taking on Taylorsville. Both teams in the Cherville and Shelby are up 2-0 right now.
Denny Hamlin starting 5th. Boy, give him the victory now, Smoke. FedEx coming to the victory lane this week. Jim McMurray's in 4th, though.
He's good at Kentucky.
Keep an eye out on him. He's still
he'll knock you out of the
He
way.
needs a win, too. Suarez and Keselowski need wins, and Logano, they're 9, 10, and 11. So Keselowski win.
Where's Junior?
He's won, yeah. Where's Junior?
He's like
13th.
13th.
He's 13th, Steve. All right, we got to go. We'll see you guys next week. KTCBroadcasting.com. Mitchem's Kitchen Sports Talk, 704-276-1155. Give them a call today. We'll be back next week. See ya.
Cherryville Ironman Sports, right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Skies should vary between mostly sunny.
Transfer, editing, and duplication. They all hold precious memories. Archive them before you lose them. Make sure all your family members have copies they'll cherish forever. Visit them today at memoriesonmedia.net. That's memoriesonmedia.net.
Fast, friendly, professional prescription service, first and foremost. Every time at Century Drug Center in Lincoln. Century Drug will match